Wow, luckily, I got my live guest box restored. Apparently, there's this like fun life hack where you go in and you take like a quiz. They force you to take a quiz about what's hateful and what's not hateful. And then when you say, I think saying slurs is bad, even when it's a joke, they're like, okay, you're good to go. Not no, to clarify, that's not what I did, but um, yeah, it's like that's like the tier of questions that we're getting asked. But make sure you're double tapping on that screen sharing with your friends, doing all that good stuff. Is Sam coming? We will see. We will see. Where's Barry? Barry's nowhere in sight. Fuck, what should I say? What's a good message to send this out to the Discord to? Any suggestions that you have in the comments below? Okay. Cool. Well, make sure you're double tapping on that screen share with your friends to know all the good. Oh, that fucking holy fucking shit, dude. Damn, got some real deal, genuine crash outs in that comment section. If you're in that guest request box, you got to be 18 or older. You must think that there is something wrong with being gay. And with that, we'll go to the very next guest, very first guest, even. Hey, how's it going?
Hello, Ian.
Yep. How old are you?
20.
Yep. And do you think there's something wrong with being gay?
Yeah,
Okay. What makes it wrong?
because I want all the boys to only like me.
Haven't you already been up? This fucking guy. Yo, sorry, RC. I'm probably gonna prioritize people I haven't talked to before. But if you're still there and I don't have anyone, then I'll talk to you. But if you're in that guest request box, make sure that you're 18 or older and that you do think that there's something wrong with being gay. Oop, fuck. Hey, how's it going? What's up?
Hey, what's up, Ian?
Yeah, how old are you?
I am 31.
Okay, and do you think that there's something wrong with being gay?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think makes being gay wrong?
First off, it's crazy that I'm in this pod. I've been kind of seeing you for a little bit of time. I am a Christian, but, I do think what you do is kind of necessary to kind of challenge beliefs, But
Sure.
to answer your question, I think the first one, generally speaking, would be pride.
Okay, and by pride you mean what?
By pride, I mean, I would say the opposite of selflessness.
I think you can be gay and
Generally
be
speaking.
selfless.
Yeah, you can. So, of course, yeah, you can be gay and you can be selfless. My personal experience and something I've noticed a lot is there's nothing necessarily stopping somebody from being selfish. Now, it's cool, and you would agree in that being selfless is the right thing to do, generally speaking, right?
Yeah, generally speaking. I mean, it depends on the thing that you're being like selfless towards, but yeah, Although, okay, so there's like kind of an immediate problem with this, which is the
Sure.
fact that not all gay people are selfish. A lot of gay people are selfless. There's no connection at all to being gay and being selfish. I'm not really sure what the argument's supposed to be. Like, if you're a
That's
gay
just one.
person and
Yeah.
you're a selfless gay person, do you think that there's anything wrong with that person?
A selfless gay person?
Yeah. Like, are they doing anything wrong when they engage in gay sex acts, but they're like a selfless individual?
Well, you asked me, if there's your premise is there's nothing wrong with being gay.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out like one thing that I've noticed, right? For example, a lot of the videos I watch, with street preachers, and I'm not talking Westboro Baptist Church street preachers, right? I'm talking, just people just exercising their free speech in a non-violent, non-asshole kind of way. A lot of the times it's very, very frequent. Maybe you've seen this too, where they get spat on, they get insulted, they get just a lot of hatred gets thrown towards them. That's one thing I've noticed. That's very, very common.
I don't know what that has to do with the topic.
So there's nothing wrong with being gay in the sense that the majority of the times I see activity, so hatreds towards Christianity, one group, it's the fact that they're mostly gay. Now, actually, to your point, Ian,
But how do you know? Like,
you can say the reverse.
do they like kiss in front of you and the video footage, or like what? How do you arrive at the conclusion?
Sometimes.
They just like really.
Sometimes.
I find that difficult to believe. Either that, or you consume an awful lot of this content to see video after video of people like spitting on preachers, and then they pull their gay lover forward and start making out with them. Like,
I can give you the YouTube channel.
I don't want to be disrespectful to you, but I kind of just don't believe you when you tell me that you've seen like lots and lots of videos of this.
Now, hang on. I'm not saying it's very, very, very common. I'm just pointing one. I can point a couple other things that does make being gay wrong.
With being gay intrinsically, like I agree. If somebody is spitting on other people, I mean, in most circumstances, you shouldn't do that. So, is there anything wrong with being gay necessarily? And if so, what?
So yes, and by the way, let me just say this too. So the answer is yes. To answer your question, I would also say that intrinsically, yes. At least from where I am now, right? The point of this, Ian, by the way, is just so you can kind of challenge my beliefs. And we can have this open dialogue. I think lately I've been following you, a lot of disrespect. So I think a good back and forth to challenge our beliefs is good. So anyways, to answer your question, intrinsically, can you just so we're on the same page, can you define intrinsically?
Yeah, intrinsically is going to be true without respect to anything like external to that thing. So something that makes like a gay sex act or, a gay individual wrong or bad without reference to like some other thing. I'm not asking, I agree there are some gay people who are really bad, I disavow them. And then in terms of the ones that aren't, it doesn't seem like them being gay makes their actions wrong. Like it doesn't seem like gay actions are wrong.
The first thought that comes to mind, let's see where this goes, is so I would say intrinsically yes, in the sense that if you had a population, or if you had a hypothetical scenario where there's a place or city or location, 100% of the people that are gay live there. Well, that's one generation that lives. So the lack of reproduction is my point.
So you think that, just to be clear, you think that what makes something wrong is that if everybody were doing it, then it would only last one generation?
Hold on, let me put my windows up real quick. All right, much better. All right, can you ask that question one more time?
Yeah, are you saying that something is wrong if upon like universalizing it, if everybody does a certain action and it leads to the extinction of that town or civilization, you think that thing is wrong?
Possibly.
Okay, do you think it's wrong to be like an artist?
No.
Okay, but if everybody was an artist, then nobody would grow the food and you would all starve to death.
I don't follow. So if everybody was an artist,
yeah, if everybody was an artist, then nobody would be a farmer. Nobody would be like growing the food, which means that everybody would starve to death. They'd be like painting.
There's nothing wrong with being an artist.
Mhm.
Okay. I think I see. I think I see your point. So
Yep.
to that, I'd say there's nothing wrong with being an artist necessarily, right? Because you're
Yeah.
expressing your creative ability.
Yeah, even though if everybody was doing it, then everyone would die. I don't think that that's a good standard for assessing morality. I don't think that
Mhm.
it's a question of whether or not everybody would die within a generation if everybody did the action that you're doing. I think
Mhm.
the important question is, I mean, to me, whether or not it's compatible with virtue, but certainly it seems like the criteria you put forward doesn't work.
Well, so to use your example, to use your metaphor, you can still be an artist, right? Like you can still have your 9 to 5 job as an engineer, as a technician, or as a doctor, as a lawyer, and still be an artist on the side.
But could you be
So
like a
everybody
full-time
could be an
artist?
artist.
Like a full-time artist? That's the only job they do?
If someone is a full-time artist, I would say then yes, it would be problematic because then people are thinking, well, I'm just going to focus on myself instead of helping humanity in some way. Does that make sense?
You think it's wrong to be a full-time artist?
If 100% of the people were artists instead of being a doctor, a lawyer, nurse, someone that makes clothes, there would be a problem. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, society would die out, but I don't think that that makes it wrong to be a full-time artist. But let's take one of the other examples that you just
Sure.
listed. If everybody was a lawyer, a full-time lawyer, then the entire civilization would die because nobody would be a farmer.
Correct.
Does that make it wrong to be a full-time lawyer?
It does because yes, it does.
Okay.
It does. Because again,
And you think it's wrong to be like a full-time doctor? Like I'm a full-time
so it's
software
not wrong.
engineer. If everybody was a full-time software engineer, society would die. Do you think that it's wrong that I'm a full-time software engineer?
It's not wrong that you're a full-time software engineer.
But if everyone
I
was,
so
then
I
we
think
would
I
all
see your
die.
point.
Yeah.
So just so I get your point right. Your point is that it's okay to be a certain thing, right? Artist,
Yes.
lawyer, doctor.
Yes.
So and because of that, it's not intrinsically wrong to be that certain thing, right?
Yes, that we don't assess right and wrong based on universalizing and seeing how society would look.
Okay. I'm writing this down, by the way. So if there's like a pause, it's because I'm writing this stuff down.
That's totally
which I have in
fine.
the past. And then so I would make another reason why I'd say that being gay would be intrinsically wrong is I'm trying to think of an intrinsic reason. I don't want to give a subjective. I'm trying to think non-biblically, right? A non-biblical reason why being gay is wrong, even though there are certain. I'm trying to stray away from that because I could go biblical, but I'm trying to think non-biblically. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I know there's been multiple people that have mentioned, AIDS before, and then your response to that, HIV, AIDS, et cetera, et cetera. Your response to that is, well, all you got to do is wear protection, right?
Yep. Yeah.
But,
I think it is bad to have unsafe sex. I think that you owe it to yourself and to your sex partners to have safe sex. I think that that's your obligation. So I fully think that it's wrong when a person, gay or straight, engages in unsafe sex, which leads to things like STDs.
100%.
Fortunately, you can be gay and engage in safe sex. So I don't think that that's
100%.
anything intrinsic to being gay.
100%. The one thing I would say though is, if I was to have unprotected sex with a girl, right? If I was to have sex with a girl, the scenario that would likely happen is I'd have a kid, unprotected sex. If I was to have sex with a guy, I have a higher likelihood of getting an STD, a disease, or something along those lines. Does that make sense?
Well, so my understanding of and I assume you mean like a woman, not like a girl, but my understanding of the only things that are actually the risk factors in getting an STD is whether you use protection and whether or not the person you're sleeping with has slept with a lot of partners. You should avoid having unprotected sex with people who engage in lots of promiscuous sex and don't get tested regularly. That is like, I don't know, it's like the getting AIDS speed run if you don't do those things. But if you do those things, then you're totally fine. I also think you could make a similar argument. If I had unprotected sex against an infertile person, well, I wouldn't produce a kid from that either, but I don't think it's wrong to have sex with an infertile person.
But let's say someone who's gay, it says, but Ian, I like exploring different things, and that's just I like making things exciting. You know, that would that gay person doesn't necessarily have something to say I ought to use protection.
Well, you ought to use protection because otherwise you're, I don't know, like being quite detrimental to your health.
Hmm. But that's not something that's common, right? Even though we should use protection,
Yeah.
um,
Should
there's
means ought, by the
nothing
way.
morally obligating you to wear protection. Does
So
that
you
make
think
sense?
you think that we ought wear protection, but you don't think that we have like a moral obligation to wear protection?
In the sense that you would agree that never mind, I shouldn't ask that. But I would say because, we are, as humans, right, we do desire, straight or gay, right? We do desire exciting stuff in the bedroom, right?
Sure.
Even before
Yeah.
marriage.
Yep.
So I was gonna say, I guess it goes both ways, it goes both ways that it goes both ways that you should wear protection, but from the Christian standpoint, there's that moral obligation there's that moral obligation, right? I, for example, I'm not going to have sex with a woman, not a girl, a woman,
Mhm.
because not just because the Bible says so, but because let's say you are a Christian, not just you have a Bible verse on your IG, right? Oh, therefore I'm a
Mhm.
Christian. In the sense that no, you are truly reading the Bible, you are taking time to, seek discipleship, getting baptized, looking to help other people out, being selfless, right? Um, I have something to ground my morality on. A gay person, maybe you, Ian, maybe you're
Mhm.
like, well, I know that I shouldn't do it because
Shouldn't do what?
that you should no, I'm sorry, that you should wear protection because
Yeah.
if you don't, that's bad. But
If you
there's
don't do the
no
things, I can like make this clear. So when we say that you should do something, what we're saying there is that the totality of reasons favors doing this action. So when we say that you should do something, well, if you don't do the thing that you should do, then you're being irrational. And
quick question, Ian.
in my
What
moral
do you when you say
system, these things are kind of inseparable.
when you say totality of reason, can you elaborate? What do you mean by
Yeah,
totality
just
of
that
reason?
if you weighed all of the reasons that you had to either wear protection or to not wear protection, that the vast majority of cases, it's going to turn out that you're going to have reason to wear protection if it's like casual sex.
But where are we getting these reasons from? Is this from society? Like, where are we getting it
Yeah,
from?
the reasons derive from virtue. You have certain obligations to yourself in order to live a good life, which is the thing that all humans are aiming at, is to live a life in which they're successful in their pursuits. In order to do that, you need to maintain your health as best as you can. But in
Hmm.
order to maintain your health as best as you can, you're going to need to make sure that you don't contract STDs. A really easy way to do that is to wear protection, especially when it's like casual sex, double, especially when it's casual sex with a person who sleeps with a lot of other people.
I would agree with you. However, if you look around, a lot of people just don't take care of themselves, and I'm not just talking STD,
Yeah, those
HIV. I'm
people
not
are
talking
failing
just
their
that.
obligations. I think that those people owe themselves better.
But I'm talking that's the vast majority of people, whether they are just not
Mhm.
healthy and they don't exercise, they don't eat right, even sexual stuff. The vast majority of people just don't live that way, right? Because it's easier to just succumb to pleasures of life.
I
So
think if
yes, you could,
somebody
Ian, you could
is
go ahead.
unhealthy to the point where it's actively detrimental to their pursuit of their goals and a good life, then at that point, I think you're failing obligations to yourself.
Even if you are failing your obligations to yourself, a lot of people, including myself at one point, right, they just prefer those pleasures of life,
Mhm. Yeah,
right?
then they're acting
It,
irrationally.
Right. But my point is this. My point is that it is easier to lean towards that rather than to do something that is literally you would have to become a new person to make that change.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
That's totally fine, but for me, like, the conversation of whether something is right or wrong ends entirely with, whether or not it's rational. So, when we agree that what they're doing is irrational, well, that means that they're just failing key moral obligations, and then at that point, they're doing something wrong.
Hmm. I guess okay, I hear you. I guess another reason why I would say, and by the way, like me saying this out loud, it sounds silly, but I'm just gonna share off the top of my head what I'm thinking. So you tell me, Ian. Another reason why I think gay would be wrong would be, again, it's so silly to say this, but if you look at, for example, I'm going to try to word this right? So let me try to word this. So, for example, I'm laughing just because, again, I'm trying to word this precisely. So I'll just share off the top of the head. So
yeah, my chat is very charitable. Yeah.
Say that one more time.
My chat is very charitable. I'm sure we'll be very accommodating.
Oh, let's go. We love that. We love charitable. Okay, so let's see. I'd say if you look at, for example, our military, our police, our enforcement, right? There's a reason why the majority of them are not gay.
Yeah, because the majority of people are not gay.
Correct. And then immediately I thought about, okay, so Ian, it is a silly question, but I'm gonna just shoot the question. Would you rather have a police that is 100% gay or 100% straight?
No preference.
No preference.
No preference. I don't know.
For example,
I think that we should have a police
force
force that's qualified, fundamentally.
I agree.
I think if they're gay or straight, that's like kind of besides the point. Insofar as we as a society want law enforcement, if that is what we want, then I just want them to be qualified, able to do the job role.
Right. And it shouldn't matter based off of what's the word that everybody uses? Not moral, it's not pursuit. What's that word? Not judged by the color of the skin, but by their, what's the word?
Content of their character.
Gosh darn it. I'll watch. When we stop talking, I'm gonna remember the word. Let's see. I'll tell you what, Ian, if you have this again, I'll be a little bit more prepared. Just because I'm used to waiting between 16 people to talk.
Yep.
And so how about this? If you have this again, I'll be a little bit more prepared.
Yeah, for sure.
Also know that you have like a specific languages when you debate people. So just you can give maybe like a brief lesson, because I know other people listen. Right? And they want to be
what?
So when people listen to this kind of content,
yeah,
I think you would agree in that people who call should at least learn the basics of debate, right? Like, so for example, presuppositions. So what super quick like terminology or lessons can you give me as someone that's kind of learning this stuff? I can't possibly
answer this question. This would take I could answer this question
super quick
in like the next 2 days. I could spend the next 2 days answering this question, going through everything I know about debate. I think the number one important thing to do is to practice. There are a lot of good spaces here on TikTok. A lot of the lives, I don't know, people will be like mean and demeaning to you when you try to get into debate, because they're bad, so all they can do is make fun of people who are new to debate. Don't let that dissuade you. You should keep on practicing. If you don't understand something, ask the person to clarify it to you. You should read Michael Humer's Knowledge, Reality, and Value. We're doing a book club in the Discord. It's discord.gg/allegedlyian. Michael Humer is the greatest philosopher to ever live. And he has a great book, Knowledge, Reality, and Value, where he goes through and defines all the philosophy terms.
Let's go. Okay, Michael's Humer, greatest philosopher. That is discord.gg/
allegedlyian.
Allegedly Ian. Let's go. All right, Ian, it's been a pleasure talking to you. So I'll be a little bit more prepared next time. But yeah, pleasure, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thanks so much for coming on up. Appreciate you. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen. Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that a blast? Gosh, and in college debate, there was how do I want to tell the story? So in college debate, my debate coach was Black, and they often talked about like racial issues. That was like a thing that they frequently would bring up in debate rounds. And very often people like, I don't know, like white people would read like the Martin Luther King quote at them, and then they would just give them like a stare beyond words when people would try to like read that to dismiss like certain issue. Oh my gosh. And every time I hear the quote in a context like that, I don't know, man. I can't I just can't think of anything else. I was like kind of struggling to keep it together. Um Whoa, it's Ethine. Well, anyway, hey, if you're in that guest request box, make sure that you're 18 or older. Make sure that you think that there's something wrong with being gay as we go to the very next guest. Hey, how's it going? Are you there, user?
Hey, what's up, boo thing?
Hey, how old are you?
I'm 14.
Oh, well, you gotta be 18 or older. Sorry. Hey, how's it going?
Hi, Ian.
Yep. Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 19.
And do you think there's something wrong with being gay? Josh. Josh, don't do it. Josh, don't turn on your camera.
I don't want to.
Okay. Do you think there's something wrong with being gay?
Yeah,
Yeah, what do you think is wrong with being gay?
cause like, fuck. Let me see how I want to say this. It's I don't know. I don't think there is right now. I'm sorry.
I could cook you, but it kind of already sounds like you're baked. Well, make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends. I currently only have one person in the guest request box. If you think that there's something wrong with being gay and you're 18 or older, feel free to request to join. I'd love to see you in there. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 18.
And do you think there's something wrong with being gay?
In a way, yes.
Okay. Do you think there's something like intrinsically wrong with being gay, or do you think like, some gay people are bad? Because if you think only some gay people are bad, I mean, I agree. There are certainly bad gay people, but
Well, no, there is bad people in every group.
yeah,
That's not an argument at all.
yeah, I totally agree. Yeah,
Um,
that's why it would be uninteresting if that's your claim. Do you think that there's something intrinsically wrong with being gay?
yes, in a way, I believe that as a society, we have our own social structures and, and norms that, yes, can be changed and broken, but most people just agree on some facts. These facts are just, yes, up to debate and changeable over time, but changing them is not really a thing that society should be aiming to. If
Okay.
it happened, then it happens. It will be hated, and it's just gonna happen. It's a bad thing that we should not really pay much attention to.
Okay. That's
Like, if
like
you're
very
supporting this
interesting.
group, I mean, I don't
Do you think
mind.
that there's something wrong with being gay? Like what's
Yes,
what's
it's
the wrong
different
thing with
than
being gay?
I mean, from a fully secular perspective, it's the social structures could break from that. I mean, socially,
Why?
marriage is between a
How?
man and a woman because it creates a family, and this is how it works. A gay marriage or
That certainly is an
whatever
appeal to
relationship.
dogma, that's just how it works. I mean, social structures change all the time. They would have made the same arguments against things like ending slavery. People, if you go back to the time of like Aristotle and Plato, both of them are out there defending slavery. Like, that's just how society works, man. I don't think that's just how society works is a particularly compelling reason.
I'm not saying it's generally, I'm saying right now it
Mhm.
is how it works. I'm saying that, for example, I mean, in the United States, I know that cousin marriage is not commonly accepted. I
Yeah,
believe
it's
if
highly
you
frowned upon.
yourself, yeah. So I think you yourself would not find this in any way normal,
Mhm.
although someone like Einstein married his cousin.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I
many
do think that's
people,
pretty weird.
and I mean, throughout most of history,
So, are
yeah,
you
I
just
mean,
saying, like,
I
society
don't
doesn't
mind
accept a
that you
thing,
think it's weird.
therefore that thing is wrong?
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying it's a problem for the person who's doing it. I mean, for example, if you find someone trying to advocate for cousin marriage in the United States, what are you doing? What is the point you're trying to do here?
Okay.
Right?
So, are you
the
just
basic
saying,
thought.
like, if you're gay, people are going to be mean to you, therefore you shouldn't be gay?
No, I'm saying
I have no
going
idea.
around as a gay person, making a community as and opposing to the most of traditions in a certain society and trying to advocate it will be frowned upon and it will be hated. This is
Yeah,
what's
but why
wrong
does
with
that
it.
make
It's
being gay
just gonna be
wrong?
hated.
Yeah, I agree. Lots of people hate gay people, but why does that make being gay wrong?
But from a fully secular perspective, it's a fun thing. It's not really, it doesn't really matter. You're just gonna enjoy your life, then just go die. That's the whole point.
So it
So
kind of
it
sounds
wouldn't
like
be,
being gay is not wrong.
I mean, as a society, it's not good. Not as a society, I mean, as an individual, you could be having fun, but the issue with being gay, I'm not saying I hate gay people, not opposing gay people. I'm saying it's like as if you would act towards someone that's advocating for cousin marriage. I mean, I personally, I'm from a place where, I mean,
Why
I'm
are
from
these
the
things
Middle East,
analogous?
because this is a socially unaccepted thing in
Well,
most societies.
if I'm not mistaken, I think the majority of society actually does. Like, if you poll people, the majority of society does approve of gay marriage. So, if all of society approved of gay marriage, would there be anything that makes it wrong?
It would not be harmful for the people that are doing it, but instead it will be harmful for the social structure because people will only view this marriage relationship as a fun relationship.
That doesn't follow.
Not as a. I'm saying that gay marriage isn't really like it's not creating a family. It's not creating a social branch or something like
Do you
that.
think
I'm
it's
not sure what's
wrong
the
to marry
word.
an infertile person or to be a person who is fertile and like a heterosexual relationship and then you just choose not to have kids? Do you think any of those things are wrong?
The point is not if you're having kids or not. The point
You
is
said it's about starting a
that
family.
it's not exactly about starting a family. It's not
I could
about
have sworn you just said
having
that. I must
fun
have
either.
misheard.
No, I said that. I said what I said was when normal marriage between a man and a woman, it creates a branch of like social branch where yes, there is a family and it's not just a fun thing that people do. They structure the society about something that is really grounded and strong, which is marriage, which is for a
Okay.
reason. And you know,
letting gay people get married, it's not going to follow from that straight people will stop getting married. Also, I don't know if you're aware of this, but lots of gay people adopt kids. And I think that's chill. That's good even. We have a horrible foster care system.
yeah, I wouldn't agree with that. I wouldn't agree that it's okay to put children with a fundamentally different people in ideology than most of society. I mean, I don't
So
hate
we
gay
shouldn't
people.
also, then you would agree then that we shouldn't let Muslims adopt children too, right? Because we wouldn't want them to end up with, a family that has a fundamentally different ideology than most of society. You'd agree with that, right?
If we are talking about the United States of America society,
Yeah.
It's not how that works because of the United States of America is a fully secular country that supposedly does not care about a person's religion, sex, or anything. You know, it just doesn't
Yeah,
mind
but
any
still,
religion.
nevertheless, the most common religion here is Christian. Do you think it's wrong to allow, I don't know, Muslim people to adopt children in the United States?
I am Egyptian, and in Egypt, we are like 90 million Muslims and
Yeah.
like 15 million Christians. Christians can adopt children in Egypt. We don't really argue with that. No problem with this. So
But
I don't
then that
see
seems to go
why
against your
that would be a
point,
problem.
right? Your point is that
You mean
you don't want kids to get adopted by people who represent an ideological minority, but then you're saying that you're totally fine with Christians adopting kids in minority Christian
not
countries.
an only. It's not an only. I mean, in Egypt we don't hate Christians. I mean, it's just normal.
Yeah,
I
but they
mean,
still represent a
like
minority
gays,
ideology, which was
they're
your
frowned upon.
criteria for saying somebody shouldn't be allowed to adopt kids if they represent a minority ideology. So it would seem to follow from your own statements that Christians shouldn't be allowed to adopt
clear,
kids in your country.
No, I mean, Christian kids that were raised Christian will not face any harm because of the way they were raised in Egypt. I mean, it's just not the exact same thing because I'm saying that a gay person will face harm because of being gay. I'm not hating him. I'm saying that he has a problem, which I'm not really in to support or help because it's like advocating for marriage again.
Well, wait, do you think then people...
What are you doing?
Do you think, like...
It's not
Let's say you had, like, a black couple and they wanted to adopt a kid and they end up adopting, like, I don't know, a white kid. Do you think they should be barred from doing that?
Why would they be? Why would the kid be harmed?
Well, because
from
people
their
are going
parents
to
being
make
black?
weird comments towards them their entire life.
You know, it would be smart if they didn't choose a white kid as a black family.
But would it be wrong for them to do that is kind of my
Shouldn't
question.
totally ban it, but yeah.
You do think it would be wrong
not a right
for
decision.
a black couple to adopt a white kid? You think that would be wrong?
I would not support this. It would be better if they choose a black kid, yeah, because of the comments, but I wouldn't ban it either.
Okay, I mean, I think that's, like, really weird. I don't know. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, so this...
Oops, I'm moving on to the next one. I was really hoping he'd say no. Let's read supers. Wolfbane, thank you so much for the super chat. The trans flag and the little heart hands. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Possum Punks, thank you so much for the cool Corey membership. Appreciate you. Virtuous Path, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I lost the game. Now everybody else did too. All what it's like 1,000 people cross platforms, 1,200. They all lost the game. But you know who could never win the game? God, he's all knowing. Reverend Nate, thanks so much for the super chat. Love this topic, but seems to draw the least contemplative people alive. At least flirts have spent 5 minutes thinking about their wacky ideas. You know, flirts have like elaborate, like, fucking architecture to defend their gibberish. Whereas, like, most anti-gay people have, like, a disgust reaction, and then they work ad hoc from that disgust reaction to literally any reason they could possibly put together, even if it's, like, crazy. Tigar Mask, thanks so much for the super chat. Does this guy think celibacy and clergy is wrong for this reason? That's a good question. Larry Beck, thanks so much for the $50 super chat. You do great work. Thank you so much, Larry. I appreciate the fuck out of that. I don't know. Big super chats are really helpful for me. That's pretty massive. Let's get a big W for Larry. I'm specifically thinking about upgrading my desk setup, but the desk that I'm looking at, I kind of want, like, the fucking Batcave setup. I don't know. I dream of the 4-monitor setup, but it's expensive, so I don't know. I really appreciate that. I'm saving up for it. Let's get a big W for Larry. Big W. Gemini Rooster, thanks so much for the super chat. I think straight conservative people want us fabulous folk to be just as miserable as they are, as they think. Or wait, fuck. I think straight conservative people want us fabulous folk to be just as miserable as they think we are, and they're jealous. Okay. Or wait, maybe as they are? I'm sorry, Gemini Rooster. I did appreciate all of the emojis. Maybe my failure to read that comment is because I'm homophobic. Literally, Lou, thanks so much for the super chat. Great, 11 months is a great Greg. That's crazy. That's huge. That's massive. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Let's get a big W for Lou. I really appreciate you. And thanks for all the help and other work that you do. We really couldn't do this channel without you, Lou. Thank you so much. Lou, thanks so much for the $5 dues. Very much appreciated. And with that, we will go to the next guest. If you're in that guest request box, make sure that you're 18 or older and make sure that you think that there's something wrong with being gay.
Hey, Ian, how are you doing? Did I say that right?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, how old are you? Ooh, are you connected to your car maybe? It sounds like there's like a bit of a, I don't know.
Oh, no, sorry, my speaker's kind of messed up. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay. And do you think that there's something wrong with being gay?
Before I can answer your question, I have to ask you a few questions.
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay. What's your religion belief?
I'm an atheist.
Oh, you're an atheist. Okay. Well, then I guess there's nothing absolutely wrong with you being gay, sir. Have a good day.
Okay. Hey, well, thanks so much. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Yep. Okay, let's go to the very next guest.
What's up, guy?
Hey, how's it going? How old are you?
I'm 19.
Yep. And do you think that there's something wrong with being gay?
Yeah, so first I need to constate something. What does wrong mean in this context? Are we talking about?
We're speaking about moral wrong, which means that there's like some sort of reason that gay people have to not engage in these activities. Like the totality of reasons would favor not engaging in these activities as opposed to engaging in them would be what wrong would mean.
So would you then ask, according to my subjective criterion or my epistemic framework that I hold to?
No, I don't think that morals are subjective. I don't think that subjective morals can account for things like making ought claims. When we say that people ought do something, we're saying that they have a reason to not engage in a particular behavior. I don't think that you subjectively thinking that it's wrong would actually make it wrong, insofar as you subjectively thinking that it's wrong doesn't give a gay person any reason to not do it. So what reason does you subjectively thinking it's wrong give a gay person to not doing it?
No, it doesn't. I agree.
Oh, cool. Then you can't say that they ought not do it.
No, but I was just asking you a clarifier, making sure that if it is you asking me according to my subjective view or according to some higher moral groundwork that I use.
Yeah, just like the moral
now the problem would then be,
reasons.
what would be substantiative proof for you to accept that something is to be deemed wrong or right?
Yeah, you would need to demonstrate that gay people have, in the totality of reasons, some reason to not engage in gay behavior.
So me showing that they shouldn't do something means that it's morally wrong?
Yeah. Like kind of
So
trivially,
anything that
right?
we shouldn't do is morally wrong?
Yeah, kind of trivially, right? I mean, morals have this property called normativity, which just means that, they give reasons for action. Everybody has a reason to do the moral thing. In fact, they ought do it.
Okay, so I could choose to not eat fast food right now.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that it's morally bad to do so?
That it's morally bad to not eat fast food right now? In fact, in many circumstances, it would be morally good. It's probably permissible to eat fast food. It's not going to take away something like the good life, like eudaimonia. But at the same time, if you're eating too much fast food, then you're damaging your health, which means that you're damaging your pursuits, which means that you're damaging your ability to actually achieve the good life, which is why something like eating too much fast food would be wrong. But sorry, you've been dodging
That's
for
not
a
what I
second
asked,
here.
though.
Why
One
is it
second, that's
wrong
not
to be
what
gay? What
I
reason do
will.
gay people have to not be
Yeah,
gay?
I will. But 1 second, that's not what I
Okay, I
asked. You
suspect
told me it
we're
was
never going to get an
policy.
answer to this question.
No, you
If
will
your
actually,
debate
but
strategy
just
relies on you, I don't know, like dodging
there
the
is no
question, then
debate
I'll simply
strategy.
remind you what I keep on asking you, which is just why is it wrong to be gay? What sort of reason do gay people have to not
Yeah,
engage in that
I'll answer
activity?
that. I'll answer that.
Please.
But before that, 1
Sure,
second.
yeah, of course. We need
You
to do something before that.
no, you don't need to
Yeah.
answer. I'm just
How
going
can
to
we
make a
derail
statement
to
and then I'm
something
going.
else? Go for it.
Yo, calm down. What I was saying was I'm going to respond to you and then
Mhm.
I'm going to engage with what you asked me. So
Yeah, go for it.
basically, I didn't ask you whether it was permissible or not. I asked you whether it was morally right or wrong. Now, to respond to what I believe with
You asked, would it be wrong if you stopped eating fast food?
mhm.
And my answer is going to be typically no. There are some circumstances where the overwhelming reason is going to favor you to continue doing that. You know, for example, if aliens are going to blow up the entire planet unless you continue to eat fast food, you should probably eat fast food. But
So then you're
in the vast
inconsistent in
majority
your
of
reasoning. However, I don't want to
circumstances, you have
take you
good
off
reason to
too
not do
long.
that, and it would be totally permissible
I
to
don't want to
not.
take you off too long because I see that you're already crying. So let's go back to the
Holy shit,
subject
dude.
of
He's like
what is
trying to
wrong
do
with being
rhetoric.
gay.
Oh no, he probably hoped that the
Which
debate
rhetoric?
strategy would have worked a bit better. He wasn't
Which
expecting for me
debate
to be cool as a
strategy?
cucumber, and meanwhile he's like seething. So I'm so sorry. Do you want to keep on
Did you have
dodging, or
your
do you want to like
moment?
answer the question? What's wrong
Did
with
you have your
being gay?
moment? I'm trying to.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Okay,
before you
good.
answer the question, you have to do one more thing, I'm sure.
I could respond now. I've
Yeah.
considered what I
Why
needed to
is it
consider.
wrong to be gay?
Yeah, so no problem. I believe according to a higher moral objective framework that
Mhm.
God deemed it to be wrong, therefore it must be wrong.
Yeah, sorry, and which God?
Which God? The Islamic God.
Okay, sure. And what's the argument that Islam is true?
Oh, so you want to get into that?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
because
what would
otherwise I have no reason to think that the Islamic God even said that.
no problem. So let's first consider what is going to be proof for you to accept Islam as being the true religion?
Yeah, either some sort of evidence, which would just be like facts that raise the probability of the Islamic hypothesis above 50%, that would do it. Otherwise, like a deductive syllogism, that would be totally fine.
So who
One of
decides
those two things.
who decides the percentages?
Oh, it's going to come down to whether or not like the evidence is overwhelming.
Yeah, according to who?
According to me, I suppose. If you're
Okay,
trying to
so
convince
if
me
I
that being gay
if I'm
is
going
wrong, then and you're also trying to
1
convince me
second.
that
So if
Islam
I
is
bring
true.
you
Whoa, let's
loads
just
and
calm down
loads,
there. Really no reason
can
to
I
be getting
respond?
upset. Just take a deep breath there. So
I'm not upset.
what's going to be the argument that Islam is true?
Can I respond to what you said?
Sure.
Because you've kind of made a blunder.
Okay.
So if I bring you loads and loads and tons of evidences and you do not accept those because
Then
you
that
are
would make me
seemingly
irrational.
unconvinced. 1 second. Because you're seemingly unconvinced, does that mean that it's not true anymore?
No, that would make me irrational. So what's the argument that Islam is
So
true?
how do we know whether you're going to be irrational or whether me is going to be right?
Yeah, whether or not you're able to provide evidence that would compel like a rational individual.
Yeah, and you're the one that decides whether the evidence is correct
In
or
terms
not,
of
right?
convincing me whether Islam is true, certainly. You know, if you want me to believe
Okay,
that the Islamic God exists, then you have to
but why would I
put
need to
forward the
prove to you that the
evidence for
Islamic God?
Islam because you're making the claim
Why
that
would
being
I?
gay is wrong in virtue of Islam being true and the Islamic God saying that being gay is wrong. What's the
I actually,
argument or evidence that Islam is true? Do you
I
intend on
actually
answering
can.
a question or do you just want to keep on running away?
No, I actually can answer that, but
You
the
go
thing
for it.
is,
Oh
why
yeah,
would I
there's something
be?
you need to do before you answer that
No, there
question,
is
I'm
not
sure.
something I need to do.
Yeah,
I'm
then go
just
ahead and give the
wondering.
evidence.
Can I talk?
Sure. Okay. In fact, maybe what I'll do, I'll pull up the notepad for you and we'll write down your argument.
Who said?
If
What
there's
is
not
this? What is
something
this
that you need to
trying
do
to
before.
frame me into bringing into a position?
Okay.
So as I was saying,
So I got the notepad up. So premise 1 for your argument is what?
this doesn't work with me, bro. So as I was saying,
This
I'm just wondering.
doesn't work. All I'm saying is ha 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 ha.
Is that all you got?
Premise 2, is that all you got?
Oh, premises can be questions now?
Apparently. You know, that's your premise 2,
According
it
to
seems.
you.
Whoa.
Yes, so thank you. So I'm just wondering now,
Premises
why would I?
can be questions.
Oh, you don't
So
respond
wait,
anymore?
sorry, and then you think that this proves that Islam is true? You think that it follows from
When
like premise
when did I
1
say that conclusion?
that
1 second. Where did you get
this
that
doesn't
conclusion
work.
from?
All I'm saying is ha 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 ha. Is that all you got? Whoa, premises can be questions. You think that it follows from that Islam is true?
Where did I conclude that?
That's the thing you're giving an argument for. I don't know if you, I don't know,
When did
maybe
I
I
say
slammed
that
you
I'm
so
giving
hard
an
that you have a
argument?
concussion.
When did I give an argument, or
I'm
when did I
asking
even
you, what's the
seemingly say that I
argument
was
that
going to
Islam
give
is
it?
true?
Yeah, and I'm asking you, why would I need to be justified into giving you a reason or into
Because
convincing you that
otherwise I
Islam
have
is
no reason
true?
to think that Islam is true. So what's the reason to think that
Okay,
Islam is true?
so one can't have a reason to believe that something is true without there being substantiative evidence for it?
I think so. Depends what you mean by
Okay,
those
so I
terms,
do
but
so
typically, yeah.
so why do people believe in wrong and right even though they don't have
Yeah, those would
any
be
evidence for
unjustified
it?
beliefs.
Okay, so those are unjustified beliefs?
Yes, correct. Yeah,
So
if you believe
everyone
in right and wrong,
so
but have no
everyone is
reason to
believing
believe in right and
unjustified.
wrong,
One
then
second.
correct. Yes, that
Everyone is
does
believing
follow.
unjustified until they know.
Sorry, what? I don't think that follows. You can have
That
justified
is
beliefs for
literally what
things
you
that you
just
don't
said.
know.
That is literally what you just said.
That is not literally what I just said. I think your
Okay,
head
I'm
is
gonna
spinning a little
repeat. I'm
bit.
gonna repeat you, and you tell me if I'm strawmanning your
Wait, sorry.
point.
Instead of doing that, how about you give the argument for Islam being true?
I could, but the question is,
Of
why would I
course,
need
there's
to be
something you need to
justified
do
into doing that?
beforehand, right? You need to find
There
some
is
way to
not
fill the
something I need
space, you
to
know,
do.
fill the time so that you don't actually have to do the task of, I don't know, making
I
an
don't need
argument.
to do anything. I just
Do
don't
you want
like
to go
being
ahead and give a
pointed
reason
into
to
a
think that
direction.
Islam is true, or do you want to keep on running?
What did you say?
Do you want to give a reason to think that Islam is true, or would you prefer to keep running?
Could you repeat that?
Do you want to give a reason to think that
Good
Islam
boy.
is true,
So as I
or
was
would
saying,
you like
as I
to
was
keep
saying,
running? That shit
as I
was
was
not
saying,
rhetorical. This
as
is
I was saying,
embarrassing.
yeah, so true. So basically, I asked you a simple question. You couldn't respond to me. You said that you need to be justified into believing something. And then I told you, okay, so people who don't have any justification for believing or ramification for
Yeah,
believing
in order to
what
have
they
a
believe,
rational belief, you would
they
need
are
to have a
unjustified.
justified
So
belief.
therefore,
What
it
it means
means
to
that
have a
everyone
rational
is
belief is
unjust.
that your
One
belief
second.
is
So therefore, it
justified.
means that everyone that believes in wrong and right, even though they don't know what it means, is unjustified.
Yeah,
And is
if they don't know
actually
what right
completely
and
wrong for
wrong
doing
means
that.
and they don't have a reason to think that these things exist, but they think that these things exist, yeah, they would be unjustified, correct?
Yeah, so this is going to be completely absurd. According to who or according to which thing did you deduce
Yeah,
this?
insofar as they don't have a reason to think that their belief is true. If you believe something with no reason, then your belief is not reasons responsive, which means that it's irrational.
Well, yeah, but why would it need to be reasons responsive? And how does
That's
it follow
literally
that
what
that's
it means to be
irrational?
rational.
One
Is that
second,
your
how does that?
reasons
One second, how
responsive.
does that follow
Maybe
that
you
it's
have an
irrational?
unfamiliarity with the literature, but that's literally just how the literature defines terms like
No,
irrational,
it's
both in
kind of
like
funny because
both in the
I'm
epistemic
trying to
sense, but also
understand.
in the practical sense, like in terms of
Yeah,
actions. That
so you had
when
a
you're
nice non
practically
sequitur.
irrational,
Okay.
that just means that you're not responding to the reasons. When you're epistemically irrational, that means that you're not responding to the epistemic reasons. So
Yeah, the question is, why would I need any justification or ramification into believing what I believe? And then you told me, well, you
I just
need it
explained it
because
to you.
otherwise your belief is irrational.
Correct.
That's not what I asked. I asked you, even though given the fact that I believe in something without actually knowing what I believe in and without having any
You
justification
don't think
for
that
it,
that's like
how
a
does
answer to
it?
the question? Okay, sure.
I can't respond. Yo, why are you cutting me off each time?
Whoa, it's because you keep on saying like profoundly stupid things. I can't help myself.
What is the most stupidest
I'm a
thing I've
moth
said
drawn
today?
to the flame. You know, every time you say something ridiculous, I just have to
What is the most
dive on in
ridiculous
there.
thing
I
that
think
I said
probably the most
today?
ridiculous thing, the thing that is, I suppose, like an indictment of your. Oh,
But
here
what is
comes
the
the
most
adham. An
ridiculous thing
indictment of
that
your
I said
knowledge
today?
level is that you're not sure what the connection is between rationality and being reasons responsive.
Yeah, so why
What
would
would
I
you
need to
take
be reasons
rationality to be?
responsive to have Russian?
Well,
What did you
sorry, what do
say?
you take rationality to be?
You didn't even let me ask a question.
I'm
You're
asking you a
already
question.
asking
What
me
do you
one.
take rationality to refer to?
Yeah, so rationality is basically just going to be according to the ratio.
According to
Ratio,
the
as we say in
ratio?
Latin. Yeah, do you know what that means?
Yo, check out this ratio. Everyone drop a L in the comment section for this dude. This is going to be one hell of
Nice.
a
Do you know what
ratio.
ratio means in Latin?
No. Little
Okay,
human
then
being,
ask
I'm
me.
sure.
No, it means the
Brutal.
reason, rhetoric.
Okay. So you think that
So
what it
according
means
to
to
the
be
rhetoric,
rational is that your reason's responsive, literally my
that is
definition.
that is etymologically
Oh
what it
my
means.
god, dude. He literally believes my position on the matter. He just wanted to be difficult.
Where did I believe your position to
You
the
said
matter?
that it's Latin for reason.
Yeah,
So it's just
no,
about
that's
being
not
like
what I said.
reasons responsive.
No. Wait, rhetoric means reason?
Isn't that what you said? You said that it's
No, that's not. I said it
ratio,
means
which is Latin
yeah.
for
Ratio does
reasons.
not
Maybe
mean
I misheard.
no.
I totally might have
I
misheard you
said
just now.
don't.
I could have
No
sworn that
problem.
you said
Good try though. Good try.
reasons.
It's not gonna help you. No, I said ratio means rhetoric.
Latin. It does mean reason. What a
It
scumbag.
doesn't.
It does.
prove it.
Yeah, happily. One sec. Let me get this pulled up on Chrome.
So Google Chrome is going to be evidence for your claim?
Do you want me to pull up like a lexicon?
Yeah,
Ratio
I would.
refers to reason. What a scumbag.
That is not true.
What, you think it's fucking lying?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Wow. So if we went to, I don't know, Latin is simple. Then, I don't know, where's these? Oh, yeah, sure, it's up here. Yeah, there you go.
So which lexicon is this?
You'll notice that it doesn't seem to say rhetoric.
No, it actually is the rhetoric, but which lexicon is this?
I don't know if this is a lexicon.
That doesn't seem like one. Could you bring me a
We can
lexicon?
do, I don't know, Wiktionary. You want like a okay. Latin lexicon.
By the
I don't
way,
know. Do you have a preferred lexicon?
You do realize that reason is
Do you have a preferred
equivocal, right?
lexicon was the question?
No, I don't.
Okay.
You do know that reason is equivocal, right?
Latin lexicon.
By the way, I could actually concede.
You said explicitly that it did not mean reason, and then we pull up a quick fact check, and then it turns out that it does.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, I'm gonna shift the goalpost real quick. So it could refer to no problem. I could grant real quick that that it could mean reason, but it is not a reason that we were
So
talking
when you
about in
said earlier that
context.
it didn't, was that a blunder or?
Can I respond? No, basically I was just
when you said that it didn't mean reason earlier, was that a blunder?
No, because I was going off of the context that we were earlier establishing for what reason means.
So you think that reason means rhetoric?
For that reason,
Also,
this would
can I get a lexicon?
something.
Because you wanted a lexicon from me. Can I get a lexicon from you that defines it as rhetoric?
I'm not on my computer, bro.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Why would I think that it means rhetoric? What's the argument?
Because I said so.
Oh, damn, banger. Well, being gay is fine because I said so.
That is not evidence, though.
Sure. Do you think that it's evidence, what you just said?
No, because for you it's subjective. For me it's subjective.
Ooh, wait. Why ought I do what God tells me?
Wait. When did I say that it's subjective because God told you?
In order for it to be objective, everyone would need a reason to do it. Morals are normative.
And it's not my morals. They're objective.
I just said objective.
As I said, my morals are going to be objective. Yours are going to be subjective. Just as any
your
normal
morals are
human is going to
objective, then everybody would have a reason for action. Why ought I do what God tells me?
Why ought you do what God tells you?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're going to eternally burn, probably.
Why ought I not eternally burn?
Why ought you not eternally burn?
Yeah.
Because God allowed you to.
Because, God allowed me to not eternally burn.
Well, you
Why
wanted
does
to
it
get the
follow from
circular
that I
reasoning,
ought
right?
then listen to
too
God
fast for
because
this,
God
bro.
allows me?
What did you say? I was kind of glazing
Why would
myself.
it follow from that I then have some sort of obligation or reason to do what God tells me?
Yeah, well, really you don't. The only thing
Then
that you're
it's
going to have to
subjective.
do...
So you need to decide subjectively to either listen to God or not listen to God. And if you don't subjectively decide to listen to God, then you have no reason, which means that you can't say that you ought do it or ought not do it, because either you buy into your worldview and you'll do it or you don't, in which case there's no reason.
That does not logically follow.
It
I
does
hope you
logically
understand
follow.
that.
Not everybody has a reason in your view.
Nice. Could you give your premises
think-
and then the conclusion?
Yeah, sure. Happy.
Pull up the notepad.
Yep. Can do. Premise 1, if someone doesn't want to follow God or avoid eternal hellfire, then they do not have a reason to listen to what God says. If
1 second, how does it follow?
Are objective.
1 second. One second.
Because insofar as reasons derive from our ends.
Wait.
Whoa.
Are you going?
Let's just calm down there. No need to get upset. Just take a deep breath.
I'm not upset. I'm just asking
doesn't
something.
sound like it, I'm sure.
The first premise.
Yeah.
The first premise. Did you get that from what I said, or are you?
Yes, because I asked you what reason would the person have, and you said that they wouldn't have a reason.
Okay, so
I don't
basically it
know if you
says if
forgot
someone
the
doesn't want to
conversation that we
follow,
had earlier, but
yeah, I have the memory of a goldfish. Don't worry
okay.
about it. So if someone doesn't want to follow God or
Yeah.
avoid
What
eternal
reason
hellfire,
do they have?
can I read? Can I read?
Yes. Well, I'm actually not
If
sure if you
someone,
can read, but maybe. I mean,
so
if
how
you're,
do I just read then?
I mean, you may read. I don't know if you can. You
Okay.
know, it's up to
So
you.
if someone doesn't want to follow God or avoid eternal hellfire, so if someone doesn't want to follow God or they want to avoid eternal hellfire, then they do not have to reason. Then they do not have a reason to listen to what God says. So where does that first disjunction come from?
Which one?
If someone doesn't want to follow God or avoid eternal
Yeah, because
hellfire,
that was the question that I was asking
one
you.
second, because that
You just asked
disjunction
me a
logically
question. I don't know if you're
follows.
aware of how those work, but
No,
when
but
you
that's
asked me
not
a
what I
question,
said.
I'm just going to go ahead and answer it. You asked, where does that first disjunct come from? And I was explaining it to you. So it's because I was asking you, if somebody doesn't care about avoiding hellfire, if they don't care about what God says, I asked you, what reason would they have? And you said they would not have a reason.
Yeah, so where does that first disjunct or disjunction
Because I
follow
asked you
from?
earlier and you
Because that
agreed
is
to it.
that is going to be the follow-up. What I asked you was simply, where does that disjunction follow? Because one of the two can either be true in a logical disjunction. The only problem here is that both can be true, and they are going to be true in this case.
Okay, so you're saying that either is true, that someone either doesn't want to follow God or avoid eternal hellfire?
No, what I'm saying is that both of these are going to be true at the same time.
That, yeah,
If
people don't
if someone
follow
doesn't want
God.
to follow God and he doesn't do
Yes.
it, then he will go
Yes.
to hell entirely.
Yes, that's like the thrust of the argument. Yes, you're running into the point. Yes, correct.
Yeah,
There
so
are
the
people like
problem
this.
is,
Do these people have any reason to listen to what God says?
one second, because your
That
first
was a yes
premise
or no
has a
question, by
problem.
the way.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get to the
Oh
point of your
boy, this
first
guy's
premise, but it's
confused
already
about
going
the
wrong.
conditional. You know, I know you
How
don't
am
know what
I
a conditional is
confused?
because you don't know the first thing about
I
logic,
do know
but
what
the
a
first
conditional
premise is
is.
if someone doesn't want to follow God or avoid eternal hellfire, then they do not have a reason to
Okay,
listen
you
to
know
what
what?
God
You know what?
says. So you're
To keep
granting that these
confusion,
people
no
exist.
problem.
Cool, great, awesome.
It's all right.
So it just sounds like you agree with the
give,
first premise.
No. So basically, given the fact that I'm such a confused boy, could you maybe put it in predicate logic so I could understand better and put the
Nope.
elements down?
I can give
You
you the
can't?
inference rule at the end of it if you want.
Can you maybe use propositional logic then?
Nope. Why would I need
Okay,
to?
so because of course we're leading to confusion this way, as you just said. So why
Why
wouldn't
would
you
it be
help me get
confusing? I
out of
think
that
the premise is
confusion?
pretty straightforward.
Okay,
You're
so now it's
telling me
not
that you're
confusing, but you
confused by
said
the
I was
premise that if someone doesn't
confused.
want to follow
When did
God
I
or
say
avoid
that I was
eternal hellfire,
confused?
then they do not have a reason to listen to what God says. That's too much
When
for
did
you.
I say that I was confused though?
I could have sworn that you just said that you were confused, that you're, I don't know,
You're not listening.
did
You're
you say
not
that you were like
listening
a
good.
slow
I said
boy or like a
according to.
confused boy? Like,
Yeah, you're not
you didn't
listening
want
good.
these
What
things
I
to get
asked you.
confusing? Or maybe I might have
Your
mistracked just
rhetoric
now.
sucks, bro.
Oh boy,
Your
he's
rhetoric
so
sucks.
mad. You can tell that the rhetoric actually is getting under his skin because he can't engage on the substance.
I'm
All he
getting
can
so
do is like
angry.
pathetically pretend like he's
I'm
not
trying
getting
to engage with
stomped.
the substance, but you keep cutting me off.
Okay. Which premise do
So
you disagree with
basically,
the premise one, or
why are you running already to the other point?
I just
didn't
wanted
even
to know
make
if
my
you
point
disagree with
yet.
premise one or not?
No, no problem. So the first point, once again, that I was reiterating was you said if, and that's what I said. If I was such a confused boy, I didn't say I was a confused boy.
Okay.
Get that through your head. Now to get back to the substance
Then why were
of the
you asking me for
conversation.
predicate logic?
Yeah, because
You
according
were
to you, I'm
actually
a
asking for
confused
predicate
boy.
logic. You weren't,
Yeah,
hypothetically asking
according
for
to
it.
you, I know you can't. No problem. I know you can't.
Yeah, I'm
You
not
probably
going to. There's no
no,
reason.
of course. You know you're gonna mess up because you already messed up at your first disjunct, but that's not gonna be any problem. So the problem that you're getting
You
into
mean
is going
this?
to say,
What's
yeah,
the
if
mess
someone
up
doesn't
there?
want to
Or
follow,
okay.
yeah. So what
I
I'm
guess
saying
like
is,
another critical tracking failure on top of like a mountain of critical tracking
yeah,
failures.
one second. I hope you do understand that there's a
Maybe if you
blatant.
act smug,
Can I
nobody will
maybe respond?
realize that you're totally avoiding the conversation and the argument.
I'm actually trying to respond, but you're not
Yep, go
letting me.
for it.
Thank you. So the first problem in the first premise that you have is the first thing is a disjunct. So either someone doesn't want to follow God or they avoid eternal hellfire. The problem is it doesn't logically follow when one wants to avoid eternal hellfire that they do not have a reason to listen to what God says.
What
so that
reason would
first
they have?
disjunct is not going to logically follow according to what
reason
we
would they
just
have?
constated.
What reason would they have?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just
Oh
saying that it's not
no,
logically
boy.
gonna follow.
What reason?
I'm not saying that they have a reason. I'm saying it doesn't
Do
logically
they
follow
have a
what you
reason
state.
to do what God says? Yes or no?
Yeah, that's not the question that we're posing
That's
right
the
now. I don't know
question that
why
I'm
you're not
asking you.
responding
Would
to what
this
I'm
person?
saying.
Oh boy, it sounds like the answer is no. Do they
No,
have a
when did I say
reason to do
no?
what God says? Yes or no?
This is so problematic. Yes, we do. But what I
Sure. So what
literally just
reason?
tried
Let's
to
say
correct.
I don't care what
No,
God
I
says
tried
and
to
I don't
correct.
care
One
about going
second.
to hell.
How
Why
about you gonna
ought
correct your
I do what
first?
God tells me?
Why don't you correct your first premise? Because you thought
Why
it's wrong and now you're
ought
taking
I
away.
do what God tells me? Answer the question.
Okay. Okay, so now you're getting away from the point again? Yeah.
This is the
So,
exact point. This is the first
no.
premise in question form.
Okay,
Do I have
no
any
problem.
reason to do what God tells me? If,
Yes, you do.
Sure. What reason would I have to do what God tells me if I don't care about going to hell and I don't care what he says?
But that's an extra premise you just added in. You
It's
don't
not an
care
extra
going to
premise.
hell. You literally just asked me what was the reason of listening to what God commands.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
saying,
literally what's on the board. I
and
don't know
I'm
if you're
saying
aware of
it's
that.
avoiding hell, so no problem.
Sure, but
Let's
what if I don't
imagine.
care about avoiding hell? Why ought I do what God tells me?
Yeah, if you don't care about going into hell, then you wouldn't have any problem with that. And
So
very
you're saying that
blatantly, I
not
could.
everybody necessarily has a reason to do what God tells them?
No, what I'm saying, actually, I could concede
Sure.
that would not be a
And in
problem.
order to have
but
universal ethics, they
could
would
I
need to be
could I
universally
respond?
reason-giving. Do you agree or disagree?
You still don't logically follow because I'm expounding on my first point. So I could concede to that was not going to be any problem given the fact that I say, oh yeah, some people don't have a reason to do what God commands. However, I could still just argue that it's in the human nature instilled to do what God commands of you. And that if you don't, well, yeah, the reason that you're going to have is that you're going against your first nature. Now, if you say, if I go against that reason, sure, but then you're suppressing the reason.
Okay. So what's going to be the argument that that sort of thing exists?
Did you just understand what I said?
Yeah, you're saying that it goes against the first nature. Why would I grant
That's
that
not
such
what
a
I
thing
said.
exists?
My lord, this guy can't even follow.
If I
Could you
play the
please still
replay
make my
back,
argument
you
correctly
wouldn't
or
have just
ask me
said
to...
that, you know, it's about going against the first nature, and you might ignore that it goes against the first nature, but at that point you're suppressing the truth. That wasn't your argument? Let's just pull up the replay.
Could you please either say I don't know what you said or just
Wait,
ask
let's
me
just
to
listen to the
repeat it?
replay. There's no need to soy out. Just listen to the replay.
Okay.
Giving. Do you agree or disagree?
You still don't logically follow because I'm expounding on my first point. So I could concede to that was not going to be any problem given the fact that I say, oh yeah, some people don't have a reason to do what God commands. However, I could still just argue that it's in the human nature instilled to do what God commands of you. And that if you don't, well, yeah, the reason that you're going to have is that you're going against your first nature. Now, if you say, if I go against that reason, sure, but then you're suppressing the reason. So that is my point. Did you hear the last part? I don't hear you.
That's right. Sorry. How did that differ from what I said?
What did you say? Yeah, so no problem. You only refer to the first point of what I said, which was basically going to be that
what
it's
you
in the
said
first.
is that,
Could I
that
respond?
you just straight up didn't say that, but now
You're
it sounds
not
like you
letting
did
me
say
respond,
that.
bro.
Yeah, because every time you try to lie and weasel around, I'm just gonna hold you down.
You finished?
That's the moaning that this guy makes every time I rhetorically fuck him.
Well, that sounds kind of gay, bro.
Yeah, it was kind of gay.
Can I
This
now
entire
respond?
like the way that I've been rhetorically blowing your back out this entire time has been kind of gay, to be honest.
I don't
And
appreciate
frankly,
that language.
the way that you've been getting your back rhetorically blown out this entire time has been kind of gay.
You saying that makes it that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Strong point. So according to you, then me saying it also makes it then.
Nope, that doesn't
So I just
follow.
absolutely
Only
smothered
for
you in
certain
this
speech
debate.
acts, you know, for example, you know, you need to be actually rhetorically talented.
What is going to be? Oh, but I am, so no problem for that.
Ooh, I think most people who watch this would come away with a different impression.
So most
I just don't
people
think
who watch this
smugness
are
is
going
going to be very
most
effective at the
people
point
who
in
are
time when you
watching.
have very little substance to actually try to back it
So
up with.
one second, most
Which is
people
why
who
on
follow
every
this
single
live
point
and
you've
who
gotten
watch
dog
this
walked
live
so
are going to
far.
be the judges of this.
Yeah, in terms of whether or not your
No
rhetoric is
problem.
effective, absolutely. The
Yeah, so how
audience
would
is
I
the
be
standard for
unbiased?
rhetoric.
How would I
This
be
is like
unbiased?
This is like 101.
How would that be unbiased?
I'm not claiming that it's unbiased. Rhetoric is not
Okay,
about
no problem.
an
So you can
unbiased
see that it's
audience. Rhetoric
unbiased
is
then.
about appealing to the audience specifically.
Great.
So
No,
the
that's not
audience
what
quite
rhetoric is
literally
about.
is the
You gotta need
decider
to
of
prove
whether or
that.
not you have good or bad
However,
rhetoric. If
yo,
the audience doesn't like your rhetoric, then that means that you chose the wrong rhetorical style. I don't know, read Aristotle or something.
okay, I don't like Aristotle. So
Okay.
as I was saying, no problem. As I was saying, to get back to the original point,
Yeah.
which you very well tried to get away from, was you saying that, one second, you saying that you repeated my point, but you didn't actually, because you only said that I said that it was in the first nature that was going to be the reason, but that's not what I said. Because what I said is that it's going to be in the first nature. And if you're going to appeal to the fact that that's not a reason, if you don't see that as a reason, because you don't need to go
That's not
to
my
not go against your
argument.
first nature. No, that's my argument. I'm just repeating what I'm saying.
Okay, well, I'm not sure.
This is
I'm
problematic.
not sure who you're responding to then.
No, I'm just repeating my first point so you could actually understand it.
Okay. So I have this argument
Not
against
every
your conclusion. Go ahead and tell me which premise you reject.
not everyone. Could you like put it like a bit to the left? Not
Sure.
everyone has a reason to do what God says. If doing what God says is objectively good, then everyone ought to do. So let's start with the first premise. Not everyone has a reason to do what God says.
Yeah, you granted that
I
earlier.
could. What? I said I could concede. When did I say I do concede?
You grant. Okay. Are you taking back the fact that you granted it earlier?
I never granted it. I said I could concede.
Do
and
you
then
think
I
that everybody
followed.
has a reason
It's
to
a
do what God
conditional.
says, or?
No,
Well,
I
then
don't
you just straight
believe
out. Then you didn't
necessarily.
answer the question earlier.
I didn't say no to your
Did
question.
you answer the
bro,
question
listen.
earlier, or did you not?
I didn't say no to your question.
Did
no,
you
bro, listen
answer
to
the
what I'm
question
saying.
earlier, or did you not?
Yeah, I answered it with a conditional. The
Oh,
only
well, I didn't
problem
ask a
is-
conditional question. I asked, would they have a
Yeah, and I
reason, yes or
repeat.
no?
You don't know what a conditional means?
I understand what a conditional is. You're saying if this, then
So why
that.
are you not listening?
I didn't
then?
ask
So
you
no
a
problem.
conditional question. I asked you a yes or no question. Do you think that
Okay,
these
so I
people have a
believe, yeah,
reason
so I
to do what
reject the
God
first
tells them?
premise.
Sure. Okay. Let's say I don't make it an end of mine to do what God tells me. I don't make it
You
an
don't
end of
make it a
mine to
what?
avoid hell. I don't do any of that stuff. Why
You
ought
don't make it a what?
an end?
You don't make it an end? I don't know what
Yeah.
that means.
Like a goal.
Google?
Like a goal.
Oh, like a goal?
Yes.
You don't make it a goal?
Yes. I
Okay,
don't.
you
It's
don't
not
make
one of
what
the
a goal?
things that I will.
Okay, so you willing means that it's gonna be a reason?
Yes. Yeah, that if you will something, then you've made something your end. And all an end is like a state of affairs that you will towards that gives you a reason for action.
Not specifically, because a goal doesn't need to have reasons for it specifically, does it now?
It would be irrational. Also, the goal is the thing that gives
So
reasons.
why are you appealing? So
if
what
you
if
have
I
a
say
goal,
that it's
then you have a
irrational?
reason to do the things to achieve the goal.
But
If
what
you
if I
don't have
say that
any
it's
reason to
irrational? What
do
is
it,
going
then
to
you
be the
just don't have the
problem with
goal.
that? 1 second. What is going to be a problem with saying that it's irrational?
Sorry, what? I'm not sure what this even
What
responds
is
to.
going to be the problem? What is going to be the problem with me saying that it's irrational?
That what is irrational?
That you having a goal without any reason. Isn't that what life is?
You're fundamentally not tracking the
For you?
argument. The argument
How am
specifically
I
is that
fundamentally not
goals
tracking
from
your
goals
argument?
derive reasons. When you make something your goal, you now have a reason to do the things that are necessary to achieve the goal.
So that was not your
So
original point.
that
You said a
literally is
goal
my original point.
necessitates.
Oh my, this
No,
guy
your
can't track
original
to save his
point was
life.
that
Jeez.
you said that goals ought to have reasons. Now you're saying that
I'm
the
saying
steps you'll
that
take to get to a
reasons
goal
derive from
have a
goals.
reason.
So if
So
I
you're
don't
switching
make
up
it,
around,
no,
bro.
that's literally my entire point, is that if you do not make it a goal to listen to what God says, if you do not make it a goal to avoid eternal hellfire, then you just have no reason. So what
Yeah, so
reason would a
basically,
person who
yeah,
doesn't
so
care
that is
about
going to be the
avoiding hell,
problem.
doesn't care about
That
what
is
God
already,
says, what reason would they have to listen to what God says?
yeah, so no problem. You're already going off on a whim there. So the problem that you're bringing
Oh
up is
boy.
basically when you, can I talk, bro? It's kind of
Just
hard
calm
because
down
you're
there.
going through me each
There's
time.
really no reason to be getting
What?
upset. Just chill out there, mouth breather.
How do I say? I'm actually, am I a mouth breather? I
Oh
don't know.
geez, that one really
But
triggered him. Am I? Did I actually? He's tried like short circuiting there. Jeez.
no, I'm actually trying to figure out
I didn't
whether
mean
I
to get
was
under your
mouth breathing
skin. I'm
or
sorry, bud. We can.
No,
You
you're
can
good.
just move
You're
on to
good.
the
You're
answer.
good. No
I really didn't mean to offend you with that one. You can just move on to the answer.
No problem. I forgive you, son. So as I was saying, as I said, I have the memory of a goldfish. Could you remind me what
Yeah.
we were talking about?
Sure. So let's say that I'm a person and I.
Good boy. I do actually know what we were talking about.
Okay.
So as I was saying,
That's what a bold debate strategy, you know, pretending like you're really stupid and then being like, I'm actually not really stupid. Wow. Please tell me that's not your actual laugh. Please tell me you're trolling and that's not actually what your laugh sounds like. Oh man, can you imagine
but that
being this
was
dude's
kind of funny,
girlfriend
bro.
and you hear his like snotty laugh? You can hear like the beads of like fucking snot in his nose
By
as
Allah, that
he
was funny. By
laughs.
Allah,
Like
that
holy
was funny.
shit, dude, wetter than the Sahara.
I am actually from next to the Sahara.
Yeah, I can tell.
Do you have anything against the Sahara?
Nope. But I don't know. I bet every girl that you've ever been with has been like mad
I've
dry.
never been with a girl.
I grant that. Holy shit.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Okay.
Neither could
You're
I do, I
coping.
think. Neither could I do, I think. Yeah, I might be, but
Oh, that's
no,
probably
not really,
true.
because I already considered that I couldn't probably. So
Hey, I mean, happy Pride, bestie.
happy Pride, what?
Happy Pride, bestie.
How does it logically follow that I'm gay?
I thought you said that you don't want to have sex with a woman.
Yeah, I don't want to have haram sex with a woman, no.
Oh, okay, sure. Well, that's a clarification.
Yeah.
What you
And
said
even if
originally
I-
is that you don't
even
want to
if
have
I-
sex with a woman.
No
And if
problem.
that's
Even
the
if I
case,
said,
I mean, you know, you might be ace.
I actually
and
didn't
that's
say that, but
totally
let's
fine.
say that I did. If I don't want to have sex with a woman, how does it logically follow that I'm going to be gay?
I didn't claim that you're gay. I'd claim that you fall under the
You
Pride
said
umbrella.
happy Pride, though.
You know, yeah, you can have pride in being asexual.
Yeah, and then I was asking you, how does it follow that I'm gay? And you responded, therefore, implicitly granting the
yeah,
fact
I
that you did
responded
say
to clarify
that I'm gay.
that that's not what I'm saying.
You're sucking
Another
this, bro.
tracking
I'm too
failure
good
on
at
this dude's part.
I'm actually too good at this. I can't lie. So what's up,
Oh
bro?
shit.
Going back to the original
That's
point.
what you should do. I think a fun experiment. You
Mhm.
should rewatch this on YouTube, and you should specifically look at the side chat and the way that they're like tearing you to shreds.
Why would
I think
care
that would
about
be
what the
good for
side
like
chat has to
readjusting your
say?
rhetoric for next time you try to enter into a debate space. You can recalibrate your rhetoric such that you don't
Why would
embarrass
I-
yourself next time.
1 second. Why would I care? Because the only thing that I would need to do
Because
was
you can
appeal to
adjust
your
your rhetoric
audience.
such that you don't absolutely humiliate yourself,
Could I
both
maybe
on the
have some
substance and on the rhetoric.
Can I maybe have some speaking time without being interrupted real
I
quick?
don't know. It depends how stupid the things you say are.
It's gonna be very stupid.
Okay. Probably
Okay,
not
thank you.
then.
I would like for you to give it anyway, but no problem.
Okay.
So as I was saying, the only real thing that I would have to do to make your audience appeal to me was grant the fact that it's okay with being gay, because that is why most of these people are here. I'm sure that most of the people that actually follow this or follow you are in line with what you have to preach. So therefore, how are they going to be a judge according to how I did? Because the rhetorical device is kind of biased at that point.
Yeah, I'm happy to explain that. Specifically, one of the things that comes up a lot in rhetoric is how to deal with a hostile audience, how to deal with an audience that is not very charitable towards you. If you look at previous guests, the chat is going to be way nicer to a lot of the previous guests. For some of them, they'll even be like complimentary towards them. And it's just about the sort of disposition of the person. But with you, they're like viciously mean, and it's because of the disposition of the person.
And that actually,
So
you know
I
what
think
that
it's a good
does?
lesson.
That
I mean,
actually-
if what your goal, and it
Mhm.
depends on your goal, of course, but you know, if what your goal is to maybe influence people or to, I don't know, even try to like look good or try to embarrass your opponent, a really key thing to do there is to select the right rhetorical style. And buddy,
Yeah, so
you selected the wrong rhetorical
I appreciate
style.
your answer. I would like to respond to the answer. Actually, the answer only grants me what I was already previously thinking. Given the fact that they're responding more viciously to me, that probably means that they saw me as more of a threat instead of the earlier guy.
No, that
Given the
doesn't
fact that
follow.
most of the time people respond to threats in that way, viciously.
No, that doesn't follow. Specifically, you
that
try
not
to frame
follow?
yourself as a threat. But I mean, typically, when somebody's
I
actually a
didn't
threat,
frame
when
myself
somebody's
as a
actually beating
threat.
my ass, you know, the chat will be full of people who are like coping. You know, they'll be talking about, you know, how bullshit this debate is, how fucking stupid the debate is. But instead, that's not what the chat is saying. They're saying that
Why are
you're
you
getting like
lying
roasted
blatantly
alive.
upon your chat?
Hmm?
Why are you lying blatantly upon your chat?
In what way am I lying on my chat?
You basically said that they would do something else than what they are doing right now.
Yeah, this is like super common, by the way. Yeah, anytime like a group of people like
What is
lose a
common?
debate viciously. Like I recently watched the debate between that one Protestant and Ethan Muse, my goat, on Our Lady of
I don't know these two.
Fatima.
Which
and
Fatima?
Our Lady of Fatima.
You
It's
mean
a-
like
it's a
the
Catholic
Marian
miracle.
apparition? You mean the Marian apparition?
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Yeah, there's
about
like a
it?
debate about it recently, and the Protestant dude got like torn in half, and then all the Protestants in the comment section, they weren't saying like, "Wow, our Protestant really stomped Ethan Muse." They were saying like, "That's bullshit. This is bullshit. That's so fucking stupid. His arguments were so dumb."
Yes. So how does this exclude the other point?
Sorry, what? I don't even know
How
what
does
you're
it
asking.
exclude? Yeah, how does it exclude the first point that I made? Because I said, given the fact that the chat is answering this viciously, that would probably mean that they see me as a threat. And you said, no, if they see people as a threat, they will either go against the substance of the debate or they will either object to the debate itself.
Because
So
my
the problem
claim
is
is
going to be,
that
how
you
does
are
it
not
exclude
doing
my
well, that
point?
you've
though?
tried to frame yourself as a threat, and
But how does it
doesn't work
exclude my
because you're not a
point,
threat.
though? How does it
Insofar as the
explain?
reaction would be different if you were actually doing well, if you were a threat.
So 1 second.
It doesn't
You're
disagree
still
with,
not,
or
you're still not
sorry,
responding,
because
sir.
if you're a threat, if they perceive you to
Mhm.
be a threat, then specifically they would need to evaluate you as actually doing well. You're not a threat if you just shit all over yourself.
How did I shit all over myself, or don't you?
You can check the chat. You can check the replay. Point after point,
So if the
contradiction
chat
after
says that I
contradiction,
shut
lie after
myself-
lie.
1 second.
It's just like
So if the
point after
chat
point of
says
you
that
getting
I-
like blown to pieces.
Great. So if the chat says
Can you
that
imagine
I
getting blown to pieces, but then also it's
Could
like
I-
haram to get blown to pieces?
wait, since when is it haram to get blown into pieces?
You can't get head.
How does blown into pieces mean getting head?
You must just not have a high familiarity with the English language.
No, I don't. Probably not. So getting back to the original point, could you repeat again what we were talking about? I kind of forgot.
I think we were talking about God and reasons for
Good
action.
boy. He falls for it again.
Yeah, I'm always happy to clarify
Twice
for
in a
you.
row.
And if you want like a good rhetoric tip, that level of charitability
No,
is
this is
something that I'm
kind of
willing
funny.
to extend to people.
Ian, did you age check?
Did I what?
Twice in a point.
Did you age check?
Yeah, you said
Oh, I know this
19?
guy. Wait, I know this guy. He always says Jamil, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
What's up,
19
bro?
or is he not?
I'm
I
19,
don't
yeah.
know. I mean, he acts like a
October
19-year-old.
2006, bro.
Yeah, so I was talking to one of my Muslim friends, and they were talking about I don't know what it's like where you're
Is
at.
Am's Muslim again?
No, he's ex-Muslim. What the fuck? But one of my
Alhamdulillah.
Muslim friends
A'udhu billah.
was describing to me
Mhm.
how some Muslim people will get they'll get an imam to marry them together, and then they'll have sex, and then they'll get divorced immediately, and it's like an equivalent of a hookup. I don't
That's
know.
mut'ah. That's
That
mut'ah.
is not allowed in Sunni Islam.
No, it
The
actually
marriage
is.
I know,
Ams, why
it
are you
is,
lying, bro?
in Sunni Islam, there's no mutah, habibi. Mutah was allowed at one
No,
point.
I believe that marrying with intent. What if I say that I believe with marrying with intention of divorce is halal? What is going to be the problem with that?
Then you're a kafir, simply.
Okay, so why does Imam Shafi'i say it is then? Kitab
Imam Shafi'i does
volume
not say
4,
so. He doesn't say
No,
so.
he actually does because
He doesn't. You
one
simply do
second.
not understand how to read.
What does mut'a mean? Could you respond to that? real
Mutah
quick?
is the enjoyment, which refers to a marriage of enjoyment in which you marry only to get the enjoyment of sex and then divorce.
Yeah, what is one of the conditions of mut'a?
That you have a preset date upon which you divorce.
Yes, and that is not the same with marrying with the intention of divorce. So this is why most scholars
No,
classify
it
it as
is so.
halal.
Okay,
so do you-
still it is, yes.
Do you have any
Even
evidence that
without-
it's
even
haram?
without a predefined term.
How's that not marrying with the intention to divorce if you have a
What
divorce
did you
date?
say? No, so Ian, basically, what it means is Muta is a Shia practice in which people go and they make up a marriage contract and they say this is the time for how long we're going to be married and then we're going to divorce. However, with marrying with the intention of divorce, you're just basically saying, oh yeah, at a certain point in time when I don't feel like it anymore, I'm just going to divorce her.
Oh, okay, sure. So it's not literally, so it's not with the intention of divorce. You're not saying like you literally have the intention to get divorced at some point. You're just saying that you don't take it seriously.
Yeah, you're basically saying like when I don't feel like it anymore, I'm just gonna dip out. So that's basically. So I don't hold. I actually hold to the view that it's haram, but I don't hold to the view that it's zina.
What's the
you're
wait?
not
What's the
holding to the
second
view that
one?
zina. No, wait. It wouldn't be a valid marriage contract in that case, which would make it zina.
No, actually,
It is not
you
valid,
could
no.
actually agree that okay, how does the marriage contract get annulled, bro? What are you on about?
Annulled? It is not annulled. It isn't a marriage contract in the first place.
So how does it not get validated then?
It is not validated because, again, for example, if a woman, let's say a woman has a marriage contract on her iddah, is she committing zina?
Yes, she is.
Okay, in the same
Because
sense.
then it is impossible for her to get married. However, in this case, that
Exactly.
doesn't necessitate.
If you don't actually have the intention of marriage, and you're doing it with the intention of having sex and then dipping at one point when you're done with your enjoyment or the mut'ah, that doesn't count as intention, which is the niyyah that you have to have for marriage. You have
Wait,
to have
1 second.
niyyah for
Since
the
when?
marriage.
Yeah, you need to have a niyyah for the marriage, but when does it say that you don't need to have my bad? How does it say that you can't exclude the fact that you can actually like just say I'm gonna dip after I'm married? There's no
Because
problem with that,
again, that is not a valid niyyah. At that point, you're trying to play chess with God. You're saying that, oh, I'm
not
going to do
playing chess
mut'ah.
with
You
God.
are. You're saying I'm going to do mut'ah without actually having a preset time, meaning I'm gonna prank God and I'm just gonna do whatever God said not to do, and I'm just gonna put in extra steps to make it not so.
Oh,
In the
Yes,
same way
that's
that,
not proof.
for
Is
example,
So one
this like the
second, that's
Muslim
not proof.
equivalent of like soaking?
yes, pretty
You
much.
get like your imam to like shake the bed.
What is soaking?
It's like Mormons do it. So I think the thing is like you get like the man and the woman, and then like one just like lays on top of the other, and then they get like a third friend to like shake the bed so that they have sex, but it's not them who are like moving their bodies. Yeah. See,
Okay,
that is
to get
hilarious.
it
back.
seems like that's
so
like
to
the
get back
Muslim
to-
equivalent. I don't know.
It's hilarious.
No,
But,
I do.
but
I'm
yeah.
actually aware that 14-year-olds do that. However, Ams, you can't say that it's that the marriage contract cannot be taken
It
forth
is invalid because you have to have the niyyah of again getting into a marriage
because you're
without
getting one second. You have the niyyah
intentionally
of one
divorcing.
second. You have the niyyah of getting married, right?
Mhm.
So how does that get annulled by having the niyyah of divorce?
Because getting married, you have to actually not be trying to do it with the intention of divorce.
Where does it
Like
say
marriage.
that?
Where does it say that? That is literally all of the fiqh of nikah. Aqd nikah again. The
So
entire
if you want to
concept,
appeal to
entire
fiqh,
concept,
one second. If you want to appeal to fiqh,
disagrees with you 100%.
if
So
you want to
don't
appeal
even
to
go there.
fiqh, if you want to appeal to fiqh, I could name you 10. I could name you 10 scholars of each madhahib that agree that it's even halal.
To do mut'ah.
No, not mut'ah. Even though that even some
mut'ah with
some
extra
say that
steps.
Ibn Abbas actually believed that mut'ah was still
Yeah,
halal
Ibn Abbas
because
was
of the
wrong
time
because
we
he didn't get the news of it being haram.
No, he did.
No, he didn't.
No, he did. Sahih
No, he
Muslim
didn't.
1407. Sahih Muslim
1407
1407.
was not Ibn Abbas, it was Ali.
Yeah, it was Ali telling Ibn Abbas, so he did get the info, right?
No, he didn't tell Ibn Abbas, no.
Okay, so when Ali corrected Ibn Abbas, how is
And
the
Ibn Abbas didn't
narration
believe
wrong or
him.
how does it wrong?
No, he's not correcting Ibn Abbas.
Can
in that
someone
way.
pull up Sahih Muslim 1407
Mhm.
and read what it says?
Sahabis can disagree with each other if they haven't gotten news from the
Yeah,
Prophet.
but you say that he didn't get corrected.
Okay,
I'm
wait. So
saying
I
he
have it
didn't
here.
believe the correction.
Yeah, could you
That is
read
the
it?
point.
Ali B. Abi Talib reported that Allah's messenger prohibited on the day of Khaybar the contracting of temporary marriage with women and the eating of the flesh of domestic asses. Damn, can't
Yeah, so
So I told you this
can't
hadith,
eat ass
second.
is
either.
not
Holy shit.
no, like
this
you
hadith
have
is not
one
this
second.
hadith is
You
not
have
talking
arrows
about
like
Ibn Abbas.
1 second. You have
Yeah,
arrows to the
it's,
right, which say the letters. Those are the riwayat.
Habibi,
see
I guess
there
like-
is no
Wait, let me
there is no
pull it up.
way of a person trying to argue with Ibn Abbas. Ibn
One
Abbas
second.
did not get the news, which is how he thought that mut'ah was allowed.
Yeah,
Wait, you
could
can-
you go
you
to
can-
the next hadith in row because
Where do
it
we
is another
determine?
riwayat.
Does it say who wrote it somewhere?
It's Muslim who wrote it.
It's
Okay.
It's in
Sahih
the name of the
Muslim.
book.
Okay,
But
I
could you
see.
like go to the next one because this is A. This is 1407A. Could you go to B,
Sure,
C,
yeah.
and D?
Sure.
Because there is one which mentions Ibn Abbas.
Malik narrated this hadith on the authority of the same chain of
Go to the next one.
No, go to the next one.
chain of transwitters that Ali B. Abil Talib said to a
Yeah,
person.
same thing. Just go to the next one.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm at C.
Mhm.
Muhammad B. Ali narrated on the authority of his father, Ali, that Allah's apostle on the
Same
day
thing.
of.
Go to the next one.
Oop, what the fuck? Okay, well, here's what I'll do. I'll show it. You tell me when.
Yeah. There you go. So it
Okay.
doesn't even say what he said. It said.
Yep. Okay.
Where does it say
Ali,
this?
Allah be pleased with him, heard that Ibn Abbas, Allah be pleased with them, gave some relaxation in connection with the contracting of temporary marriage, whereupon he said, don't be hasty in your religious verdict. Ibn Abbas, for Allah's messenger on the day of Khaybar, prohibited that forever, along with the eating of flesh of domestic asses.
So
Okay,
he
so I
spoke.
didn't know this one
So he
existed.
spoke to
Okay.
Ibn Abbas, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that thank you for proving my point, because you said that he
Okay.
didn't get corrected, but Ali bin
No,
Talib
what I
straightly
said,
corrects
sure.
him.
I was wrong on the fact that he wasn't told. I didn't know this hadith existed. But,
No
but
problem.
again, Sahabis had differing opinions based on
I
what they
know.
heard from the Prophet.
Do you
Some
know that
Sahabis
there's
have heard.
actually a view in Musannaf Ibn Abi Shayba that says that that he recanted and he eventually repented and said that it's haram? But that is not
Okay.
the point. Like, just saying generally mut'a is haram, I could agree that it's just
Mut'a is haram,
invalid
yes.
and it's going to be zina. However, I don't believe that marrying with the intention of divorce is zina. I believe that it's
It is.
haram
I
at
would
tops.
say it is zina for the person who married with the intention of divorce. For
Well-
example, if I lie to a girl and then I marry her, and then I take her mahr, I give her mahr, and then I say I'm going to just sleep with her and then divorce her, I would say the marriage contract is valid on her end, and there is no harm
So
on
how
her
could
end,
it be
but it
that
is
it's
invalid on mine.
Wait,
So how could it be that it's-
what if I was Muslim and I wanted to do like the Muhammad hijab rotation? Is that
what is the
that-
Muhammad hijab rotation?
It's where you like lead like a woman on and you have like sex with her in like hotel rooms and you say like, listen, baby, I'm definitely gonna marry you. I promise I'll marry you. I'm definitely
That's
gonna marry
zina.
you.
That's
Okay.
zina.
Okay. Sure.
That's if you're married, you're subject to unalivement, and if you're not married,
if
you're
you've been
subject
married
to
before,
100
yes.
lashes.
I
Yes.
see. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Well, this is severely derailed, so I'm going on to the next one. But
That was interesting.
yeah, it was. Yeah. Holy shit, that dude knows quite a bit about like Hadith or whatever.
Specifically about temporary marriage.
No, he's probably
by
looked
the
into
way,
it before.
Shias, they even allow you to temporary marriage, some specific sects of Shias, they allow you to temporary marriage a virgin prepubescent girl to an older man, and then after they sleep with each other, you just get paid, and then everything goes to its own.
Not great. Not great.
So it's prostitution with extra steps.
No, yeah, seems like it.
And by the
Not
way,
great.
there's an entire BBC documentary on this practice happening in Iraq, in which women, they just like do surgeries to quote unquote regain their virginity, and then they temporarily marry themselves off to men, take the mahr, the marital price or dowry, and then they get divorced, and then they keep doing it over and over again.
What sort
And
of
it's totally allowed.
what sort of surgery?
So he said like there's a surgery like in which they try to reconstruct the pretty much just the what is the word I'm
hymen?
looking for? Anyway, the hymen, yes, pretty much.
Jesus
So,
fuck, that's crazy.
It happens. It even happens in Egypt because again, a lot of people like in Muslim countries, they wait for the girl to either bleed or they try to see or feel the hymen, which again is just silly, but it is a thing. Like we have, there's a case that happened like a few months ago, in which a guy on his wedding night beheaded his wife and took her head to her father because she didn't bleed on the wedding night, and then forensic medicine showed that she had an elastic hymen, meaning it doesn't bleed.
What
And
the
he literally,
fuck?
he had her head, he beheaded her, ripped her head off her body, and then took her to her father's house.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. That's literally like.
But he was sentenced with execution, so.
Oh, okay. That's good. I think that's like super reasonable even. I don't know.
I think it's too little.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know. I
Imagine
think,
on your
I think
wedding
that there's
night.
like there are
Holy
circumstances where I'm in favor of the death penalty. I don't know. That one certainly would
I
seem to
think
qualify.
it's too easy.
Yeah, maybe honestly, right?
Because
I
like
don't
imagine
know.
you're like a young girl on your wedding night, and you're happy and you're scared and you're just having sex for the first time, and then you get beheaded on your wedding night.
Yep. Fucking yeah.
You know, something you didn't do.
Yeah. Like gosh, you followed the religion even and you still get like you didn't have sex and you still get beheaded. That's
That is
crazy.
just heartbreaking.
That's insane. Yeah.
So like yeah, I would say I would say torture for somebody like that is acceptable. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Quote me.
well, it gets difficult, right? Because when I arrive at like certain moral positions, there are a lot of emotions that will make us arrive at moral positions that we otherwise wouldn't hold at. And I think this debate is a great example of that. That a lot of people arrive at the belief that being gay is wrong because they get like a disgust reaction to gay people. And I mean, if I saw like a gay couple making out, I might get a disgust reaction to that. But I recognize that the beliefs that I form on that basis are not rational, which is why. And I run into a same thing when I'm assessing like punishments for like horrific crimes, where I certainly think the person deserves the death penalty. And like I even like intuitively, like I'm so angry that like I intuitively agree that they probably like, I don't know, like I think that they deserve to get like tortured to death. But then I wonder if that's just like if the only reason why I feel that is not for like some sort of like logical basis, but just because I'm like angry. I don't know if that made any sense.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But for example, I can tell you something else.
Yeah.
In Egypt, they have like a law in which it's called the passion laws or passion crimes. You've heard the term, right?
I think
crimes of passion.
Well, yeah, we have crimes of passion here, but
so yeah, essentially what happens is if you come home and you're a man, and then you come home to your wife with another man in your house, if you unalive them both, the most you can get is 6 to 2 years in prison for both of the kills, combined.
Jesus fucking Christ.
6 months to 48 months, and sometimes you don't even get to anything. But if it's the other way around and your wife comes back home to you, she can't do anything in case the other girl's your wife.
Yeah, that's like
this
crazy.
only applies to men.
Do you want there's like a pretty based system in the United States military of all places, but if your partner is in the military and I think you have to be legally married to them, and your partner cheats on you, you can go to their commanding officer and you can take like in their like military retirement fund, like the military gives them like retirement money. You can take like a huge portion of that if they cheat on you. And I don't know, I'm in favor. Fair. I think that's based.
I think that's
yeah,
fair
like fucking killing them is insane. Like that's so crazy. That's like genuinely outrageous.
Like there's a very famous like saying that's always used, like in cases of cheating, the husband always tells his wife that he's gonna unalive her and he's not gonna spend the day in jail, because he's the legislator, and the laws express that a man who sees his wife in this case would not be thinking logically and emotionally, so he cannot be judged on his actions.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. What I don't know, man. It's like bending over backwards to...
It is, yes.
Yeah. I don't know. That's ridiculous. All right. I'm going to read some super... I have so many supers, dude. Holy shit. Empiricist, thanks so much for the super chat. Would you debate this if the caller's position was against all sexual attraction being gay included? Well, that's just like a really dumb position. Like that's just like I would happily debate like an antinatalist. I think the position is insane. I think that people are valuable, and I even think that having children is oftentimes like really good. I think that for a great many people, having kids would improve their lives. But that's not universally true. I don't think that's true for everyone. I do think it's true for a lot of people. I don't know. I think sexual attraction is quite good, actually. Gemini Rooster, thanks so much for the super chat. I think straight conservative people want us fabulous folk to be just as miserable as they are, and they're just jealous of our freedom to love who we want. Gemini Rooster, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Possum Punks, thanks so much for the super chat, or for the cool Corey subscription, 1 month. That's cool. Hey, Ian, what debate format did you do in college? I did Parley. Parliamentary debate. I love Parley, although I bet it's probably cooked because it's not an evidentiary format, so it's probably cooked by AI, where the entire point of Parley is that you're just supposed to, like, you get the topic, you have 25 minutes to prep the topic, you have to make the best case you can in 25 minutes. I bet at this point, probably everybody, I don't know if there's like a rule against using AI, but like, if there isn't, I think it's probably Omega cooked. Like the format is probably just fucked, but Gemini Rooster, thanks so much for the super chat. Can we get back to the original prompt? Sorry, I'm evil. Cute, thanks so much for the $5 super chat. If caller thinks being gay is wrong, why does he keep making kissing noises at Ian? Couldn't figure that one out either. Oh yeah, extemporaneous speech. I bet extemp is like fucked. I bet like everybody fucking logs on to like consensus AI and like asks the like prompt question. I did a couple of I dabbled in extemp. I was never very good at it, but I dabbled. And then I don't know. Yeah, it just seems like a giga cooked format. Opa Light, thanks so much for the super chat. The caller did actually say, you know what? So given the fact that I'm such a slow boy, he didn't say if. He plainly and he lied plainly and wrecked himself. Yeah, I feel like that happened a couple of times. I'm gonna rewatch the replay maybe tomorrow, and one of two things is gonna happen. Either I embarrassed myself severely, or I was right every single time, because my debate senses were going off like all of the time in that debate. Like, you did not just say that. That's not what you just said. That you didn't say that at all. And I don't know. I might go back and maybe he was right and he actually didn't say that.
Are you talking about the last guest?
Yeah.
To be fair, like debating a 19-year-old, it feels like debating a 19-year-old.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
that guy definitely felt like debating a 19-year-old. Holy shit. Yeah. Gemini Rooster thinks
like 21 plus is probably better.
That's true. Maybe that would be like a worthwhile change. Well, are there 18-year-olds that are worth debating?
I had a 19 or 18-year-old before trying to debate me on human anatomy. Bro.
Yeah.
And he was so confident. Very confident. Super confident.
Maybe it's
it was embarrassing.
Maybe it's like a similar thing. Like at this point I restricted away from Christians. I restricted it to Christians, Muslims, and Jewish people in terms of the God debate. And one of the reasons why I did that is because I found that it's not that there's nobody that falls outside of it that's worth debating. It's just that like 99% of them aren't worth debating. So maybe a similar thing applies for like 18-year-olds.
What I say is that if you have a God concept that doesn't tell you anything, then I do not care. Like I might agree with you even.
Yeah.
But again, like we would care if your God is telling you, oh, go behead this person, go burn this person, go throw this person off a cliff.
Yeah.
I would care then. But if your God just exists and he doesn't do anything, he exists in the same way that a random mountain in Nepal exists, then why would I care?
Yeah. I think that that's valid. Like, well, I also I'll ask people questions about that and they simply will, they just won't be able to answer like basic questions. And it's like, okay, I just can't. If you haven't thought about this, if you just think God is like a being, nondescript properties, like what are we even talking about? What are we even doing at that point? Okay. Gemini Rooster, thanks so much for the super chat. Anybody remember when Saddam and Satan were together in South Park? That's who this guest reminds me of. That's funny. Buddy Christ, thanks so much for the super chat. The Magnificent Mary? Buddy Christ is a member of Magnificent Mary. That's incredible. That's the top tier membership. I appreciate the fuck out of that. Thank you. Mr. Payco, thank you so much for the super chat, Mr. Payco. Guest gross mouth noises are taking the place of all rhetorical competence, and I hate it so much. I don't know why the fuck he kept doing that. That was weird. Cyber Deconstruction, thanks so much for the super chat. Can someone gift this guest so we can buy tickets to get off to get on the tracking train? Fuck, all aboard the tracking train. Toot. Buddy Christ, thanks so much for the 1 month. Magnificent Mary. Happy Pride, bestie. Heart. Thanks. Appreciate you. Monkey Bitness, thanks so much for the super chat. Caller, stop being such a drama queen. True. Monkey Bitness, thanks so much for the super chat. Society will have moved up a notch when people like this become self-aware about everyone's ability to recognize their fake laughter. Possum Punks, thanks so much for the super chat. The teeth noises he was making was just him trying to adjust to the girth. Oh, Jesus. That's really funny. That's like an insane fucking snipe. Possum Punks, that's fucking crazy. That's I don't know. That's really good. I might even steal that. I wish I had thought of that. Holy shit. Eat some shorts. Thanks so much for the Magnificent Mary as well. Holy based. That's incredible. Thank you. Wait, is eating ass halal? Ems? Is eating ass halal? Damn, Ems must be occupied. Turbo Sambara, thanks so much for the super chat. Analytics and continentals are not enemies. We are natural allies in atheism and politics. What's your charitable take? Oh, I'm really trying to. I'm trying to think. I think, okay, here's the charitable take. I think I must just not get it. I think that there's like really useful continentals, like people like Kant, super useful, giga useful. People like Hegel, you know, he's saying something non-trivial. He's not like gibberating. But I struggle to find useful things about other continentals, like more recent continentals. No. Continental is named after the continent of Europe. Eat some shorts. Thanks so much for the super chat. When the Bronze Age fairy tales become too real. True. You can't fuck these people. C-Bar, thanks so much for the super chat. Watching Ian doing Chapel Rowan's Hot to Go is what made me gay. Many such cases. Many such cases.
I mean,
we were
bearded
wondering.
Ian phase was very gay. So
what?
The bearded Ian phase was very. It probably turned everyone gay.
Yeah, exactly.
That was so good. Your beard is amazing, bro.
Yeah, gosh, I don't know about that, but yeah, maybe I actually can't make that comment on live. Never mind. Moving on. We were wondering earlier, is it halal to eat ass?
Of course not. No.
Okay.
Anything anal is not allowed.
Oh, sure.
And even oral is not allowed.
What? Is hand stuff allowed? What about foot stuff?
Yes, just not pretty much anything. The reason that mouth is not allowed is because you use your mouth to recite the name of God and recite the Quran, etc. So you cannot just disgrace your mouth with private parts.
You can kiss, right?
You can kiss, yes.
I wonder if it's halal or haram to spit on your hand and then do hand stuff.
Probably allowed, since you're supposed to lick your hands after eating. So.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, the Prophet said that nobody should finish eating without licking his fingers or having somebody lick them for him.
Okay. Well, wait, whoa! Holy shit, dude. Muhammad is a freak. Jesus. Yeah, God said you have to lick my fingers.
When you finish food.
Jeez.
Insane.
Yeah, seriously. Dank Bird Gang, thanks so much for the super chat. Do you subscribe to an age gap rule of half your age plus 7? I don't know. I think it's like super situational. Typically
it wouldn't work for your age.
Yeah, okay, because half my age
would be weird.
I agree with that. Like generally, well, I don't know. I mean, when I was 22, I hadn't adjusted like my like Tinder or like Hinge dating profile stuff when I was like 22, and I went on a date with like an 18-year-old, and I was genuinely like what? Who the fuck are you? Like, this is so weird. It's like a child. But then
18 and
yeah, but then when I was
like literally Joey, really young.
Yeah, when I was 23, I went on like a date with somebody who was 19. And she was actually like super intelligent and like insightful. I was like very
Depends on the person.
yeah. I don't know. I think I guess I think it's
18-year-olds are
situational.
very
I think in
stupid.
general, I think like almost certainly there's going to be, you know, when you start dating people who are like way younger than you, it gets weird. I don't know, it gets weird quickly even, but yeah.
100%. Because like, what are you gaining as a 30-year-old from an 18-year-old? Besides, like, you just wanting to have sex.
Yeah,
what are
yeah,
you-
seriously. I think that it's like a question of like, okay, what would I think when it gets especially weird is like when the age is like the thing that they're looking for. That's when it gets like, okay, like what the fuck are we doing? Like I feel like that probably reflects like very poorly on
there's-
you. If that's your only criteria, you just
There's a
want
saying
someone. Yeah, go for it.
There's a saying in Arab countries: take a young girl and raise her on your hands.
Jesus fucking Christ!
It's a real thing. Like they tell you to raise her the way you want her to be.
Oh my god. Okay.
Which is why we have like 30 and 50-year-olds proposing to 16-year-olds.
Oh wow, that's I don't know about that one. That's pretty fucking crazy. Will Day. Clicks are calling you a dog. It's a slur in his religion. Ems, is this true? Ems, you're off the app once again. Maybe he's taking calls. Whoa, we achieved the live goal. Look at us. I don't know. We'll do more investigative research into that claim. We'll see. Could be. Yeehaw. Thank you so much. Aloe Emporium, thanks so much for the super chat. Could God make an ass so fat that he couldn't eat it? No, because God can do everything that's logically possible. Yeehaw! And God can eat every ass, so it's not logically possible to make one that's so big that he can't eat it. You know, he can do all the things. Omnipotence means you can do all the things that it's possible to do, and it's not possible to do that. Ems, we were wondering, somebody made the claim that the clicks that guy was doing were like calling me a dog, and that it's like a slur in his religion. What's your take?
I haven't heard them.
Oh, he was like over and over again.
I have no idea.
Okay.
He was Moroccan, so he's like he would be like as far to me as California is to New Hampshire.
Sure, okay. All right. Well, hey, if you're in that guest request box, make sure that you're 18 or older. Make sure that you think that there is something wrong with being gay. And with that, we'll go to the very next guest. Hey, how's it going?
Saturday, mate, you all right?
Yep, doing fine. Yeah. How old are you?
Lovely. I'm 23.
Yep. And do you think there's something wrong with being gay?
Yeah, so my point is that when two dudes do it, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on this app or not.
Yeah, you can say you can say the word. Just don't say like slurs or whatever.
Yeah. When two dudes have sex, nothing happens.
Okay.
But when like a male and a female has sex, you know, they create a baby.
Well, I mean,
no, most of the time not.
Oh, well, that's a really good point.
Anomalies, yeah. But like in a general way, they will have a baby most of the time.
I think the pregnancy rate is like what, like 5%? Like there's like a 5% chance that it'll lead to pregnancy?
No. It doesn't work like that. So essentially, like you have a fertile period in which you have a few days before the egg is released, in which a woman is fertile. At the highest point of fertility, there's like assuming both couple are very healthy, there's like a 30 to like 35% chance of fertilization. Okay. But only on the exact day where she's most fertile, and the chances are like reduced every day you go before that day, because the sperm would have to survive in the womb for a longer time, and then
Okay.
after the egg is released, there's a 0% chance.
40 days
Oh,
they
wow.
have to survive, I hear.
Okay, but they can, right?
Huh?
No, I was making a
You know,
joke
but
about
clearly-
Muslims.
Oh, okay.
I just understood. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I'm saying that they can, like they have the you know the
But the
possibility to
vast
do so.
majority of
But
times they have sex, they don't.
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
I understand
Okay,
that.
so,
but
so
like,
I
go on.
agree, right? Like, you know, gay people aren't making each other like pregnant, you know,
Yeah.
by having sex with each other. That's totally fine. I just don't think that having sex that doesn't lead to pregnancy, I don't think that that's wrong. You know, when I have sex with my
Okay.
girlfriend and we use a condom, I don't think that that's wrong. Do you?
See, I get your point, but I do feel like sex outside of trying to have a kid is sort of like if you just do that over and over again, then it's a bit not great for you, you know?
Why?
Well, I don't know. I just think that's quite self-explanatory. If I was to go around, you know, doing every bird that I see, I'm not going to be like a great person at the end of it, am I?
Well, but what about just like one person over and over again, always with a condom?
But are you going to like try and have a kid with her one day?
What if you never do? I mean, would it be if both people have sex with just each other and then they wear a condom every time because they don't want kids, is that wrong?
No, not if they love each other, no.
Yeah, why not the same thing with gay people? You know, they're not gay people are not fucking each other because they're trying to have kids.
Because I just feel like they can't biologically do that. So there's
they would
got
agree
to
with
be
you.
something. Pardon?
They would agree with you. They would agree that they can't
No, they
biologically
can,
have
but they're just choosing not to.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
but yeah, like with each other, they can't create a kid with each other. Like I agree with
A lot of the
that.
time you
Gay
have,
people
like,
agree with that too.
You have gay people like using a woman. Again, for example, they could both provide sperm to different women and then have children come from them who are half of each parent. No,
So
not
just
half
like
of each parent,
pregnancy with extra steps.
surrogacy, pretty much. They
Yeah.
can have children, which are, for example, parent number one, has a child that's 50% his, 50% a random woman, and then parent number two has the same thing.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just like pregnancy with just a bunch of extra steps.
Pretty much, yes. But they
Okay.
can.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
a
what I
thing that
mean.
can
When you're
happen.
trying to do extra steps to something that can already naturally happen, it's not like I don't want to say that
There
it's
is no
like
reason
wrong.
for it to naturally happen. Nature doesn't dictate what is right and what is wrong.
Sorry, what?
And nature does not dictate what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it can naturally happen. Like, when two people have sex, like a man and a woman have
It
sex,
could,
like, I know
yes.
it
But
could
if I choose
happen.
not to, there is nothing wrong with me choosing not to. For example,
Yeah,
I
I'm
could
not
choose to
saying
be
there's
celibate my
nothing-
entire life. You would even probably say that is very pious of me.
Sorry, say that again.
I could choose to be celibate my entire life, and you would
Oh, yeah.
probably say that is pious.
What does pious mean, sir?
It means like you're like faithful, like to your religion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, is it natural? Is it like a natural thing to not choose to have sex? No.
Yeah, but that's like
It's a thing you choose to do.
I am religious, but I don't want to get into the religious side of things. You
Sure,
know, that's
but the point
like a
is,
religion telling you something.
you
not
have church
biology.
fathers who take a vow of celibacy, and then they end up not having sex, and you think that is perfectly good and even better than having a wife. So in that case, that is not natural.
Well, not even better. No.
It is so. It is more pious to dedicate your life to Jesus and not seek out sexual pleasure.
Gosh, I know you said you didn't want to make this about religion, but it does say that explicitly in Paul's letters that it's better to not start a family and to not have kids because the world is ending, is basically what he's saying.
So that is not natural, but it's something you're doing that is
I
good.
don't know the exact verse or anything, but it does say that having kids as well is also good. You should be doing that.
Sure, but it says that it's like better to not. I can pull up the
Yeah,
verse.
it's better to do one thing, but it also says it's good to have kids as well. So
Yeah, well, he said it's
disregard. It's good to
yeah.
also.
I'm talking about better. You're talking about something not being natural, being bad. I'm telling you, not seeking out marriage or partnership or sex or whatever, that is not natural. But you consider it to be better.
Okay. But I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like something that if you have to take a bunch of, let's just go back to what I was saying before. Like, if you've got to take a bunch of extra steps just to have a kid,
Sure.
I
People
don't know. I
with
just feel like it's
fertility
not wrong. I
problems
don't want to
do the
say
same
it's.
thing.
Sorry, what?
People with fertility problems, they take extra steps.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. But that again is sort of like an anomaly. You know what I mean? You can't base
Sure,
a whole
you could
argument
consider
on an
being gay
anomaly.
an anomaly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is really. There's less gay people than straight
Yeah.
people. It's
Yeah,
not.
so you could consider it to be the same thing.
Yeah,
Now what?
exactly.
Yeah, and I'm saying like you can't sort of like base the whole thing on an anomaly, really.
Oh,
Sure,
I
but
don't
it
think
doesn't
we're
make it wrong.
basing like all of sexual ethics on gay people. We're just saying like gay people are within the group where it's like okay that they have sex.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's like majorly. Obviously, I do sort of think it's wrong, but it's like
What's wrong with that? Like, why is it wrong? Why is it wrong
because
to
it's
not
like
produce a kid?
if. What do you mean?
That was the reason you
Is-
gave earlier. Maybe you want to give like a different reason, but I don't know. Why is it wrong to be gay? What's wrong with that?
Because you can't have kids.
Okay, why does that make something wrong?
Then how is like humanity going to carry on if everyone's gay and no one has kids?
Well, I don't think anybody's advocating that everyone should be gay. I think people are saying like gay people
Yeah,
should
but like
be
let's take everyone being gay. If gay is not wrong, if everyone's gay, there will not be a next generation.
Yeah, sure.
But
now,
if everyone's
I make
straight,
the
then there
same
will be.
argument. You know, I'm a software engineer. If everyone was a software engineer, then there would be no farmers and we would all starve to death. Does that make it
Yeah.
wrong to be a software engineer?
Wait, what?
So I'm a software engineer. If everybody was a software engineer, if we were all software engineers, you know, there would be no farmers. Nobody would grow the food and we would all starve to death. Does that make it wrong to be a software engineer?
I don't quite see how that.
Because you're
sort of
saying that
ties
the
up to
reason
my
why it's wrong
point.
to be gay is because if everyone was gay, then they would only make it one generation. Well, then you could apply the same argument to being a software engineer. You know, if everyone was a software engineer, we would only make it like a year because there would be no food.
Yeah.
So does that make it
So
wrong?
yeah,
to be
it's wrong for everyone to be software engineer.
Okay, but is it wrong for me to be a software engineer?
No.
Okay. So I mean, everyone is not gay. So is it wrong for like a gay person to be gay?
Well, I just feel like I've never really said it was like really wrong, but it's just sort of pointless. You know what I mean?
Like as pointless as any other relationship, you know, as pointless as any other
Well,
project
no,
where
it's
you
like
direct your
a straight
life
one
with
is
another
to have kids.
person. Say it again.
The point of a straight relationship is to have kids.
I think a lot of straight people would disagree with that.
What's the point of a relationship then?
It's to build your life with someone. It's gonna
Companionship.
And then what? And then just both of you die and now nothing.
Sure.
continues.
If you find out the love of your
That's
life is
happy.
infertile, what are you going to do?
That's a good question. I don't know what I'd do in that specific
Exactly.
circumstance.
Some people would leave, some people would not. But some people would choose to leave, some people would choose not to. Would you fault the person that chooses not to?
Sorry, say that again. Sorry.
Would you
Some peop-
fault
yeah.
the person who chooses not to?
Not to.
So I said some people would choose to leave the person, like the love of their life, when they find they're infertile. Some would choose to stick by them. Would you fault the person that chooses to stick by them?
No.
Yeah. So it's not wrong. You can be you can be a straight couple with zero possibility of having kids, and if you choose not to leave for the purpose of making kids, you're not committing a sin.
Yeah, but just I don't know. I feel like that's an unfortunate circumstance to be in where your partner is infertile. But
depending on your goals,
ideally, sorry.
Depending on your goals.
Yeah. Different on like depending on your goals. Yeah, but I feel like the whole goal of humanity as a whole is to carry on itself by having kids. No, you wouldn't agree?
I don't think so. I think that a lot of people care about that. A lot of people care about having kids. I don't think
So
it's
you
wrong.
wouldn't want us to carry on.
I'm one of the people who probably wants kids one day.
Okay,
but
so
I don't think that it's
can you
wrong to
disagree
not be
with-
one of those people. Like, I
So
think that
if
if
someone
you
said, "I don't think anyone should have kids," you wouldn't think that's wrong.
that's like brain dead. Like, that's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That's what I
There's no
just said.
possible way a person would be able to substantiate a point like that.
So, what are you disagreeing with me on then? I don't.
Well, I mean, presumably the topic, but it kind of sounds like you don't think that being gay is wrong.
I just think it's kind of pointless. Like,
I don't
what's the
know. Like,
point of it?
would you say it's pointless to be in a relationship where you don't have kids? Like, if you're in a straight relationship, is that
Kind of,
pointless?
yeah. To be honest, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Is it pointless for me to be like a software engineer?
No,
Why not? What's the point?
because that sort of does stuff for people.
Oh, well, I think being in a relationship does stuff for people. You.
How does being in a relationship? How does two people be in a relationship affect me?
Yeah, because they could move into your community. They could build a life together. Maybe they make like really good cookies, and then at like the neighborhood get-togethers, they bring like really good cookies. Like, there's just lots of things that come from relationships that might not otherwise be there.
You said earlier that your chat doesn't sort of rip into people when they're
No,
not
I was
being a dickhead.
joking. I was joking. They for sure do.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Yeah.
They're just brain dead. That's fair enough. Not actually listening to what people say and just commenting. That's fine.
I disavow that. I think my chat is very intelligent, but yeah.
But so you support them just ripping into people when they're not being a dickhead?
Depends on the person. Okay.
What about right now?
So I think probably what needs to be understood is that for most people, and I think this is like a reasonable perspective, the very act of like disagreeing with the topic is already like a pretty shitty thing to do.
Okay.
But like, I don't think
can't
that
have
you've
an
been like
opinion, that's fair
egregious. I
enough.
think that there's been like a bit of like tracking stuff, but it's it's okay.
Yeah, so I feel like like if someone just joins this live, people are just gonna hate on them.
Not necessarily. Depends on their dispositions. I think actually I don't want to say that.
Sorry, I'm reading. It's quite funny to read.
You probably don't. I probably wouldn't read the comments if I were you.
Yeah, no, it's quite funny actually, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little laugh. It's all right.
Okay, sure. I mean, I think that gay people are going to be able to form relationships with each other, and then they're able to build their lives up, and then they have an impact on all the.
And then their life, their whole bloodline just stops there. That's fine.
They don't care about that.
Okay, yeah. If they don't care about it, that's fine. What I don't care about old ladies on the street. Is that fine?
It depends what you do with those feelings. You're welcome to not care about them as long as you respect like their basic rights. That's fine.
Okay, yeah, but I feel like I don't know. I just feel like the whole point with why I disagree with people being in a gay couple is that it doesn't actually do anything for humanity.
I don't think that's true. For example,
what do they do?
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever listened to like good music, but there's a high likelihood that it was written by a lesbian. This like level of like I don't know. There's just like there's lots of incredible art that comes out of gay communities.
Art's subjective though, no?
In terms of like good art? Yeah, good art is subjective. I bet that you probably enjoy. I bet you'd probably enjoy art that was made by a lesbian, because a lot of people really like it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. They can like that. But that doesn't mean it's like
that they added to
society.
It's like something that they were only able to produce because of the relationships that they were in. I don't know if you ever heard like Chapel Roan.
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, you should listen to Red Wine Supernova. It's like at least a 9 out of 10 song, maybe even higher.
What's it called again?
Red Wine Supernova.
Red Wine, so I'll give that one a listen.
Yeah, it's pretty good. There's trying to think, who are the other gay people listen to. But yeah, I just, I think that gay people contribute quite a bit to society.
Yeah, but as in like what I'm
100%.
trying to say is like the actual like existence of humans. Like, yeah, cool, they can help now, but what are you actually doing for humankind, like to carry on itself?
Again, a lot of inventions by gay people, or companies being built by gay people or run by gay people, a lot of programs and government officials being gay people, that helps propagate humanity by helping humans themselves. You don't need to help somebody in the sense of creating them yourself by having sex. You can just give them a job, you can give them purpose, you can give them motivation, you can give them anything. That helps humanity without having to fuck somebody.
That helps people. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. But when I
that
say
carries down,
help,
that carries
pardon?
down. That does carry down. You realize that, right? Like
Carries
if you're,
down how?
for example, if you're a government official who's gay, and then you have a program that helps families all
Like
the
DEI
time.
hire type shit.
Yeah, not talking about DEI.
No, nothing.
I'm just talking about a person, for example, that's a government
Why is
official who's
Trap
gay.
being so mean to me?
That's like the first thing I've said, but all right, bud.
So, for example, again, they start a program that helps families all over the country. Now the families, that is going to impact the children, and how the children grow up, that is going to impact their children when they have children, and so and so.
Oh, yeah,
Actions are not
absolutely,
isolated. They carry down generations.
Yeah, but the more and more people that, like, let's just say the more and more people that are gay and get into gay relationships,
it doesn't affect anything.
It would affect something eventually if those numbers kept
No, it
going
doesn't.
up.
Simply because
the birth rate would just simply go down, no?
The birth rate does not go down because somebody decides to sleep
Well,
with
when
a
two people
relative.
can't have a baby, and the more people
clear,
that can't have babies,
gay
that's
people
obviously going to
wouldn't
affect the
be
birth
straight
rate.
if they weren't, like, let's say a gay person doesn't enter into a gay relationship, they're not going to then go and become straight.
But also you have countries in which being gay is 100% punishable by death. Like, for example, the United Arab Emirates, Oman, they have lower birth rates than the US. And I'm pretty sure they
Is
don't
that
have
just because they don't allow gays, though? Like,
no, I'm
sure
telling
that's
you,
for
they
many
have
other reasons, no?
less birth rates in
Is that just
countries in which
because-
they don't have gays.
Is that just because they don't have as many gays, or is that because of other reasons?
So you think that being gay is like geographic?
No, I didn't say that.
You're either born with the predisposition of being able to catch those feelings depending on your environment, or you're not.
I don't know. I've never really seen,
But I'm
or
saying
apart
that-
from like now, I've never really seen a gay kid. I feel like people just decide they're gay when they're like 12.
They don't decide.
They probably just look like the other kids.
And also, why would you discuss sexuality with a child? That's why you're not seeing it.
Yeah.
Because you just mentioned about people
And I'm telling you, the reason you
hardwired
wouldn't
that way,
notice
so I
it,
was-
the reason you wouldn't notice it is because we're not usually discussing sexuality with children.
You mentioned it.
But yeah, I'm talking about a
You can't
population
go
of
at
people.
me for saying why are you talking about
I'm
sexuality
talking
with
about,
children when you just
I'm talking
mentioned
about,
it.
I'm talking about an entire population. The entire population of the UAE, it doesn't promote being gay, and yet they have less birth rates than the US.
But again, is that just because they don't promote gayness, or is that for other factors?
What other factors would you say?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. I don't know.
But you're saying that promoting gayness equals less birth rates. Well, we have a case in which.
I'm saying
so how
the
would you
more
isolate
and more
that?
people that are gay.
Sure, maybe there's something that's affecting that and or influencing the results. But how would you isolate to prove the point that having more gays equals less births? How would you isolate?
Because gay people can't give birth.
Sure, but how would you apply that over an entire population?
Because the more people that are gay equals the less people that can give birth.
Again, how would you prove that having higher rates of gay people equals lower birth rates? A birth rate is going to be dependent on the per capita population.
Okay, let's just say 99% of people are gay. That's more people that are gay. Do you think there's going to be a higher birth rate or a lower birth rate than a 99% straight country?
Because again, they could still have kids with each other. You can have a lesbian couple and a gay couple have kids crossing each other.
Yeah, but like 99%.
You wouldn't be able
but then
to
that's
do that.
just not really
you wouldn't
like.
be able to know.
then you're not being gay to have the kids.
No, you are.
Oh
Because
fuck!
again, you
It
can
looks
just
like
have.
the reason why is because all of the like decrepit old sheiks are scalping all of the young women and shooting blanks into them. So it looks like straight people have fucked this up again.
What old men
Yeah,
can't
the rich
fire like
old
actual bullets? Yeah, that's
sheiks
something I didn't know
are
before.
yeah. Gosh,
Get the young bulls in there then.
that's well,
fuck?
yeah, but the young bulls don't have any money. You know, they're waiting for the old sheiks to die off.
Well, damn,
Yeah, it's a tragedy.
a massive tragedy, man.
Well, okay, here's a reason to think maybe like being gay is actually going to be like helpful to
Okay.
something like the birth rate. So kids are a huge fucking financial burden on like the tax system. They don't pay taxes.
Okay.
I don't know, like you dump a whole bunch of fucking money, time, and resources into them. And
Into who?
some of them
Into who,
have the
sorry?
audacity, like children.
Sorry, yeah, go on.
Yeah. And some of these fucking kids have the audacity to grow up to be losers.
Yeah.
Now, gay people typically don't have kids, which means that there's more money and resources to go to things like schooling for the children of straight couples. So that means
Okay.
that it's actually going to be, and it's also like the financial incentives to allow straight couples to have kids. That, you know, if all the gay people suddenly turned straight, it would be a huge financial burden on our system, which would, I don't know, disincentivize people to actually have these kids.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a good point. That is a very good point. But I'm just saying, like, we can't all be gay.
I agree. I don't think
So
anybody's
it-
advocating that.
But in a sense, like, wouldn't you say if you can't all be something, then that thing is wrong?
No, of course not, because we can't all be software engineers. You know, we
Nah,
can't
that's a
all
good
be
point.
we can't all be
That's a good point.
artists.
That's a good point. Fair enough.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I
Hey.
think that's all good.
Hey, well, thanks for coming up. Appreciate it. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, doing all the good stuff. What was it? Ems, can you imagine you're like the fuck, I forget what the title of like the rulers of each emirate is. What are they called? What's their title?
Sheikh?
Yeah, God, fuck, I did remember what it was. Holy shit. Can you imagine being like you get born and you're like a sheikh, fuck, I'll just say it, white, you're a sheikh, and you find out that your emirate is like the one emirate that didn't find oil, and your average income across the emirate is like $15,000.
By the way, like, so the Dubai does not have any oil, by the way.
Oh wait,
You know that,
Dubai?
right?
I thought.
No, it doesn't. Dubai is actually a very poor emirate. If it wasn't for tourism, the only, like, by the way, like the United Arab Emirates is like 7 emirates,
Yeah.
and like Abu Dhabi is like 70% of the country. So like,
Yeah, I thought,
imagine if like there was one state that was encompassing like all of like the entire U.S. up until like Wyoming, for example, like that is like the entire East Coast up until like Wyoming, New Mexico, Colorado, etc. Like that
Yeah.
would be like how big Abu Dhabi is compared to the rest of the country, and
Holy
they have all the
shit.
oil.
I'm looking at it, and they have
Like Dubai's in debt to Abu Dhabi by like hundreds of billions.
Jesus fucking Christ. That's crazy. Wait, I don't know if you would know this, but what's the one that's like super, I know that there are 2 that are like giga poor.
They're not poor. Like there is no place in the UAE that is poor.
Oh,
Like,
I know
if
like the
you're an
leaders aren't
Emirati-
poor, but I thought there's like a place
I'm
where
talking
like
about the people. Like,
Yeah.
the
thought, like,
if you're
the
an
median
Emirati
income-
citizen, you are rich as fuck. Because like getting married, you're given by the government a monthly stipend. You're given land. You're given 0 interest 50-year loans, and you're given even like the government even pays for your wedding. The government pays if you want to go to college abroad. So, for example, if you get accepted to Harvard, the government pays for for the entire university. It pays for the plane tickets. It pays for a monthly salary for you while you're studying, like $3,000-4,000 monthly, just because you decided to go to university abroad. So if you're an Emirati, you're loaded.
Well, that sounds like, I don't know, that sounds wicked, but I mean, I'm like looking at the page for this one emirate, and it says that the median income is like $8,000.
Probably because most of the people living there would be like Pakistanis and Indians and
Oh,
Bangladesh.
sure, yeah, maybe they do just like import like a lot of work. I know that happens a lot in.
They have like a ministry for Emiratization, in which they're mandating that more and more every year of every like company hires more Emiratis. So and when you hire more Emiratis, it's like legally there is no minimum wage in the UAE, so you can literally just import a person and pay them $200 a month, and there's no repercussion. So,
Yeah.
But Emiratis, you have to like pay them actually like 10,000 a month USD, etc.
Okay,
like, they're
yeah.
very rich.
That makes sense. I don't know, pretty.
Like imagine like they pay for everything you decide to do. If you get too sick and the government and the country does not have the facilities, the country sends you out on its own expense to get treated in the US or in Germany or whatever.
That's pretty insane. Oh, I mean, me as an American, I literally can't fathom that, but you know, cool healthcare, I guess.
Emiratis are very, very like rich.
That's genuinely insane. That's like, I don't know. That's pretty fucking crazy. Okay, let's read some supers. The guest, not this last guest, but like two before, was also whistling and calling you a good boy. I mean, I picked up on that. Damn. Rhetorical, optical suicide, speed run. Owen Carlson, thanks so much for the 50 memberships. 50 memberships? That's fucking ridiculous. Owen Carlson, that's huge. Thank you so much, Owen. I really appreciate that. That's like sincerely, I don't know, like extremely helpful. I'm trying to upgrade my desk setup. The desk that I'm looking at is like $2,000. I really appreciate that. I'm currently saving up, but thank you so much for that. I really couldn't do this without you. Let's get a massive W for Owen. 50 memberships is insane. Mr. Hammy, thanks so much for the super chat. I think you said you believe in veganism. Why? I think a good question to think about. I don't know if it's like decisive, but I think it's like pretty convincing to the non-vegan. So there's some trait that animals have where we've decided that you know, these animals, we can eat these motherfuckers. We're able to eat animals in virtue of some trait that they have, or maybe some trait that they lack. Now, what trait is true of an animal where if a human had this trait, it would justify factory farming them? Now, I'm inclined to think that there's nothing. There's no trait that a human could have where it would be okay to factory farm them and like slit their throat and eat them at Whole Foods. I don't think that there's a trait that really accounts for that. Which means that it doesn't really seem like there's any trait that justifies the treatment of animals. So I kind of on that basis conclude that it's irrational. There's also like the consequentialist case. If you think animal abuse is bad, if you think it's wrong to like hit animals, that the suffering created by like hitting a dog, multiply that by like a fucking septillion. That's every single factory farm. A day in a factory farms are basically like torture factories for animals. These little fucking cages. You know, imagine somebody came up to you with fucking pliers and they fucking like rip your goddamn finger out. Insane, horrific shit. And that's happening. Like, I don't know. I think it's pigs. They'll snip the tails of every pig such that they can fit them into cages. And then, you know, you're not able to turn around, you're not able to move, your entire life is in this like tiny fucking cage, and then the pig behind you, who's going insane from this fucking treatment, understandably, starts like biting at your fucking nub. It's horrific suffering constantly. It's just an insane amount of suffering. Factory farms are fucking crazy. They're crazy if you start looking into them. Ice Reptilian, thanks so much for the super chat. People fuck not wanting kids all the time. True. Banger. Dank Bird, thanks so much for the super chat. Wouldn't it be wrong to never have kids with his logic? I think so, yeah. Sonos Percussion, thanks so much for the 50 gifted memberships. 50 memberships. That's crazy. That's yeah. I don't even know what to say. That's genuinely huge. I really appreciate that, Sona's Percussion. I appreciate all the support that you've given the channel. We couldn't be doing this without you. You are a key member of the Ian infrastructure. You really keep the lights on. I love you. I don't know. What are more voice lines? 2 thumbs up. I really do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, though. Thank you so much. Ice Reptilian, thanks so much for the super chat. The bloodline ends with me. Laughs in Arrow Ace. True. It's all Jover. Kane Malice, thanks so much for the super chat. Sir, are you suggesting your blood is special? Apparently. Nightman Comment, thanks so much for the super chat. Tracy Chapman wrote and performed Fast Car, which is one of the greatest songs ever made. I've never heard it. Don't kill me. Sudik Chaos, thanks so much for the super chat. Gay couples adopt orphan children. Yep, true. Ice Reptilian, thanks so much for the super chat. Sperm banks for lesbian couples don't count, I guess, or don't exist, I guess. Sudik Chaos, thanks so much for the super chat. How many orphans are there? L Collar, straight people give up their kids all the time. True.
You do know the reason why you cannot have adoption in Islam, right?
In Islam?
Uh-huh.
What is it?
Give me 1 sec.
Taylor, thanks so much for the $10 Venmo. Lou is the reason I'm here, and I'm not mad about it. Love your ability to stay calm and stay articulate. Taylor, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. And big W for Lou. Lou's the GOAT. We couldn't do this without Lou. Ethan, thanks so much for the $5 super chat. Stay stinky. I will. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, so the reason was that I think you know this, you're just not recalling it right now. So the Prophet wanted to sleep with his adopted son's wife. So God forbade adoption and said that after you're done with, so he talks to Zayd, not Zayn, Zayd, his adopted son, and says, when Zayd is done with her, we're going to marry you to her, so that there is no wrongness upon the Muslims when they decide to marry the children of their the wives of their adopted children.
Holy shit, dude.
And by the way, the story is he actually came on to her, and then he saw her and he was attracted to her. And then God, his daughter-in-law.
Isn't it fortunate how that works?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I'm getting revelation from Allah. I need to sleep with your wife. I don't have a choice in the matter. I simply need to fuck your wife. I'm so sorry. Allah says
It's
no
hilarious.
to adultery. I need to fuck your wife, though. I'm so sorry.
So divorce her, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. There was I was listening to a debate about Mormonism and polygamy. It's so weird how for prophets like Joseph Smith, I didn't realize the severity of Joseph Smith, but I think the timetable was I could totally have misheard the conversation. I think the timetable was 30 wives in 18 months. That's psychotic.
Well,
That's fucking crazy. That's
could you go to Bukhari 4788? I want you to read this. The context for this is that God in the Quran said that the Prophet can have that any believing woman can dedicate herself, meaning sexually, to the Prophet without any dowry. So look what Aisha says to the Prophet.
Statement of Allah the Most High. You, O Muhammad, peace be upon him, can postpone the turn of whom you will.
I think you have the wrong one up.
Okay, wait. Narrated by Aisha. I used to look down upon those ladies who had given themselves to Allah's messenger, and I used to say, can a lady give herself to a man? But when Allah revealed, you, O Muhammad, can postpone the turn of whom you will of them. Or wait, sorry, I'm not going to read
the context
shit
for this is that God,
in parentheses.
The Prophet, no, you could read it. So essentially, the context is that the Prophet used to have a rotation. So he would
a roster.
On Monday I'm going to sleep with wife X. On Tuesday I'm going to sleep with wife X, and then on Thursday I'm going to sleep with wife X.
Yeah.
So what happened is that the Prophet one day he was so done with one of his wives and he wanted to divorce her, and so she decided that she can give her night to Aisha. so that he can sleep with Aisha instead on her night. And then God told him that he can essentially just like decide which wife he can sleep with at any time without having to like rotate upon them. So this is the context.
Wow. Okay, wait. You can postpone whom you will of them, and you may receive any of them whom you will, and there is no blame on you if you invite one whose turn you have set aside. I said to the prophet, I feel that your Lord hastens in fulfilling your wishes and desires. It's makes you think, Aisha, doesn't it? It really makes me think. I have some thoughts about it too, Aisha. It's crazy how much Allah is occupied with fulfilling Muhammad's wishes and desires.
It's hilarious that even a 14-year-old was able to like call it.
Yeah. Well, wait, is this sarcasm?
I know, she's like actually telling him it's like I feel like God is actually like hasting with how much he's fulfilling your desires.
Yeah, me too.
Like she's like actually like telling him this straight up.
Yeah.
Which makes you think that she probably like had a feeling at least at one point.
Yeah.
Why is God so like concerned with your dick?
Yeah, seriously. I don't know. This is like one of the things. I think this is like a it's not like a knockdown argument, but it's maybe like a good heuristic to figure out like who's a con man is like, okay, who when given power starts to fuck like 30 women. Maybe
in one night, in one bath.
It makes you like, I don't know, makes you think. Yeah, seriously. I don't know. I bet Muhammad must have been like fucking tired.
No, he wasn't. He was given the power of 50 men sexually. Remember that hadith?
Oh, Jesus fuck. Oh gosh.
And the fact that his friends were gossiping in regards to him like sleeping, him rotating upon all of his wives in one night, with one bath. Like he would like just shower, then go and sleep with all of his wives at like just go wife A, wife B, wife C, wife D, wife E, wife.
Holy fucking
F,
shit,
etc.
dude. He's doing like the Bonnie Blue rotation. That's crazy. He's like, it's like the I don't know, man. It's so fucking wild.
It is, yes.
Not even like a cigarette or any. Can you imagine? You sleep with like 30 women consecutively, and you don't even have like a fucking cigarette after each one. Insane.
It's funny.
Yeah, I like legitimately. He must have had like insane sexual stamina. I feel like I'm done after one, but everyone's built different.
I mean, that probably. I had a person who, like, actually argued that this is proof of his prophethood.
Fucking insane. That actually might be the most compelling piece of evidence. It is kind of miraculous that he was able to fuck 30 women in one night. That's insane.
It was 9, though. It was 9.
Oh, it was 9. That's still crazy.
And in each taking her turn. I wonder, wait, wouldn't that just mean he lasts too little?
True. Holy shit. Yeah. Facts. I wonder, maybe after the first couple, he couldn't get it up. And then, he was like, I'm getting revelation from Allah. You need to tell everybody else that I was sexually successful.
I feel bad for that one wife who, like, instead of the Prophet divorcing her, she offered to give her day to Aisha. That is so humiliating.
Yeah, that is pretty fucking crazy. Oh, Warma, thanks so much for the 6 months subscription on Twitch. That's crazy. And a gifted sub to Toasty. Let's get a big W for Warma. Thanks for being in the community. Happy to have you. Jazzbones, thanks so much for the 12th month resubscription on Twitch. A year. Happy 1 year, Jazzbones. It's been great to have you in the community. There's a chap rated with 43 viewers on Twitch. Welcome, Raiders. Appreciate all of you. Thanks, chap. I'm going to be on the line with Matt Dillahunty. This happens on the 10th. This upcoming 10th. It's on the Sunday. And we also do book club. We have our book club coming up. It's Michael Humer's Knowledge, Reality, and Value. We're going to be reading about the duty of charity. That's chapter what? Is it fucking 15? I've lost track. Maybe 16. Yeah, chapter 16. But we go over we're going over all of like the Peter Singer arguments about the drowning kid in the lake. It's gonna be really good. It's gonna be a blast. Virtuous Path, thanks so much for the super chat. Oh fuck. Virtuous Path, thanks so much for the super chat. From a Stoic perspective, non-heterosexuality doesn't cultivate vices, so there's no issue. That's true. It's also it would be intemperate to be gay, but to never act on it, you know, with like other consenting partners would be intemperate. You know, it's temperance is like getting like the right amount of enjoyment out of things. If you live like some monastic lifestyle, you're not getting the right amount of enjoyment out of things. You should enjoy a little bit, not too much though. Lloyd Weatherford, thanks so much for the super chat. Elton John is one of the greatest songwriters of all time. Mega gay. Freddie Mercury wasn't straight either. True. 8 women plus a child. Don't forget Aisha. True. That's, you know, I don't even have like a metric to compare that to. But yeah. Exploding Tiger, thanks so much for the $2 super chat. Big W, Exploding Tiger. Okay, is that all of them? Who's live right now? Who's next? Who can I send you to?
Thank you for having me up, by the way. And,
yeah, thanks so much for coming up. Oh, yep. Oh, the Bible guy's live. You guys go read the Bible guy. Monkey Boy is also live. Go check it out. Go check him out. Later. See you all tomorrow for the God topic.